Oh, right. You probably stunk.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, November 23rd, 2014. Time for Gitmo Nation Media Assassination, episode 672.
This is No Agenda.
Covered in the grayness of Gitmo Nation lowlands, coming to you from the Pipe in the heart of Amsterdam. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I remain, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Hey now. There we go. And cue Skype crapping out.
Is Skype crappy?
No, I cued it. Usually that's exactly what happens.
You don't have too much trouble when you're in this particular location.
We had some bad trouble the last time we started in this location. You remember?
No.
Anyway, for those of you listening at noagendastream.com, we are indeed an hour early, starting at 4 p.m. UTC. I brought the UTC watch.
Ooh.
Just in case. And as we were getting set up to start the live stream and the recording, I asked John, I said, are you at home? Are you up north, in the Port Angeles? And John says...
I said, no, I'm leaving for north right after the show.
And I said, oh, you liar.
And then I said, what are you talking about?
So I get an email last night.
Yeah.
The first email is, newsletter coming your way. Stay. You can go to bed after an hour. Oh, thanks, Dad. He said,
well, you usually conk out around, I thought you'd miss the newsletter.
No, I was really ready to conk out. I was watching Dutch TV, which was tripping me out.
Okay, we can talk about that after you get over your little
about you lying
for here.
Yeah, because after that, or I guess it came in this morning before you went to bed. You sent me an email. Subject: Let's go early tomorrow, and then in the body of the message, for your sake, since you are in Holland. You liar! It's so you can get out.
That's what I was thinking at the time.
You liar! No, you were not thinking. You were thinking, I don't want to. I got to leave on time.
My flight's at 4:00. I don't really need to rush. But I thought to myself, I said, self. Poor Adam's in Holland. The guy's going to be like, it's going to be like midnight by the time we do the show. I should ask him if we should go out early.
It's going to be.
And then I said to myself. Well, and by the way, you'll benefit because you can get a little more time to pack. So you won't have to pack last night. I haven't packed.
For your sake, since you're in Holland. Bull. What a bunch of bull. Yeah, it's so easy. I look right through you, Dvorak.
Yeah, you didn't notice it at the time.
Well, I actually thought to myself, does he not know that it's only 6:00 in the evening when I start the show? And it's not like it's really, really late. It's not past midnight.
Okay, you say it's not late. Is the sun out?
Well, the sun started to go down around 4:30. It's now pitch black. It's like I'm living in the Arctic. It's horrible. And it was already gray.
Go outside. Maybe you can see the northern lights.
No, because it's overcast. This is what happens in the Netherlands. Near the winter, or in the winter, we enter a tunnel. And this tunnel is just months long. And sometimes you never come out of it, until, like July. And it's at least it's not raining, but it's not really super cold. It's in mid 40s. But just gray and depressing. And there's so much to be depressed about.
So you get that dour Dutch look.
Yeah. But there's no Dutch people here either. I've been walking around.
They're all gone. They're all in the U.S.
Yeah. They're all from other countries. I had dinner with Christina last night. Have you ever been to Wagamama's? Are you familiar with this?
No.
It's I know it's in the U.K. I don't know where it comes from originally. So it's kind of like an Asian restaurant, but it's very affordable, and there's no... there's long benches. But it's all kind of modern. It's hard to explain. You should look on the web, Wagamama.
I'm looking on it as we speak.
Yeah.
Mama Walk or Wagamama?
Wagamama.
There's a bunch of Mama Walks.
No, Wagamama, all one word. Wagamamas.
It's Wagamama or Waga?
Waga. Whiskey Alpha Golf.
Golf? Huh.
I know you don't like me to give you the code.
I don't.
Wagamama.
There's nothing.
Oh, please. Wagamamas. No, you're not doing it right.
Is it all one word?
Yes, Wagamamas. Ooga booga. Okay, well, while you're looking it up, which seems to be incredibly difficult.
Oh, there it is, Wagamama.
All right, you see what it looks
It's a
like?
British headquartered restaurant chain.
Right. There you
Figures.
go. Yeah.
Serving pan-Asian food in the style of a modern Japanese ramen bar.
There you go. That's exactly what it
Founded
is.
by Alan Yao in 1992. It's old.
He's been around the UK, and they have a new one open here in the south of Amsterdam. But everybody in there was from somewhere else. Latvia, a lot of Polish people. And I immediately was like, "Hey,
Are there any when you go to a Korean restaurant, there's a lot of Koreans in there. That means it's a good place. If you go to a Chinese restaurant, it's not a Chinese, it's a good place. There's a lot of Wagas in here.
no, zero." It was all
No
people.
Wagas.
No, there's no Dutch people either. They've gone. They've been disappeared. So there's a lot of and the servers were Polish, and I said, "Hey, how's that visa situation?" For those who don't know, this NATO ally of ours is not on the visa waiver program.
And apparently, the only guys who helped us during the George Bush war against Iraq.
Yeah, but I mean, why would we reward them for good behavior?
Why bother?
And then this girl says, "Yes, I know. I want to see my. I can't do a Polish accent really. I want to see my sister. She lived there, and I don't get visa. Why not? Why I can't travel?" And I said, "Well, it's because we hate you." And I apologize on behalf of the American public. I'm just very happy. But let me reverse a little bit, John, if I can just give you a bit of the travels, a little travelogue here, if
Yes,
that's okay.
I want to know what happened.
Okay, first of all,
Let's start with the trip to the Austin airport.
that's right. Trip to the Austin airport, which I did since my wife, Miss Mickey, was in Houston. I took an Uber. This is important, I think. We need to speak more about the Ubers. And this was a complete different experience. The guy shows up in it was the right car, but it was what is this, like what are the minivan kind of? It's like a station wagon, but it has the
Dodge Caravan,
something like that. Yeah, like a caravan. And it's trash. It's like I'm getting into some guy's trash.
Oh.
And and the guy was really nice. That's why I just want to get to the airport. And he really knew where to go, but it was trash. It was just trash everywhere, just junk, and the seats were icky. So strange. Like, okay,
he's living in the car.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. So this thing does happen as well. Get to the airport. Now, I of course was prepared. It's a 2-stage flight from Austin. First, you have to go to Atlanta, and you fly that with the Sky partner Delta, which means nothing is integrated. They don't know about each other. None of your air miles work in the same place. It's their Sky partner. And then I, of course, from Atlanta, would take KLM to Amsterdam. And I printed out my boarding pass at home. And lo and behold, no TSA pre-check. Now, this would be the third flight with Delta that this has gone wrong.
Huh.
So I...
Can't you whip out your GOES card or whatever it is and say, hey, look.
Not at the TSA checkpoint. No, no. I've tried that. You'll recall we discussed that, and they even say that's not a pre-check. You don't want to argue with these idiots. But I went to the desk, and I walked. Of course, you always walk straight into the premium frequent flyer line because they don't care. Right. just this is a tip for everybody. Another one I learned from Mickey. Even I have. I used to be gold with KLM. I used to be gold with all the airlines, and now I think they call it...
now you're a schmuck.
Yeah, it's called it's Pearl. Yeah, your KLM Pearl, which is nothing. That's a starter.
Yeah, it just means you signed up.
it means I ticked the box and I got a number. But you just walk up, and then the girl says, oh, come on over. And this was... I knew she was going to be good. I said, I'm going to Amsterdam. Before you do anything, would you do me a favor? Would you retype my number, my trusted traveler number, and then do the check-in, the boarding pass? And I could see that she was smart. And I made her check. It was the number was already in there. It was the right number. She re-enters the number, hits go, boarding pass comes out. I've got pre-check. So I don't know why this worked, but it worked.
They probably don't like they probably would, if you did it at the kiosk instead of at home, you'd probably get a pass. Now, I just got my boarding pass, just printed it out this morning for Southwest, and I got pre-check, and I'm not a member of anything.
You're not even a trusted traveler.
No.
Have you done the interview?
No, I haven't.
Did you pay $140 for your?
Yeah, I've done that part. I'm going to lose that money if I don't get my act together.
Interesting. How do you get pre-check then if you're not a trusted traveler?
Apparently, Southwest has its own system, and they give it to you if you fly them a lot.
Oh, this makes no sense.
It makes no sense to me, but I'm not complaining. I usually get it coming out of Oakland to going to Seattle. I usually get it on the way back.
This makes no sense. You're supposed to be trusted traveler. You have to have an interview. They take your fingerprints.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
just telling you what I got.
Fine.
I'm not a sucker. Anyway, go on with the story.
Yeah, so that goes well, and I've actually gotten to the airport early, and and I've learned now. I take the microphone, which is the Rode Procaster. I take it out of my bag. I just leave it in. It has a little a leatherette pouch that you put it in, which I'm sure is faux leather.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, and I've learned to do this because then they don't go searching through your whole bag to find this thing, which of course looks like a canister of C4 or a Steely Dan pleasure toy, because that's what it really looks like on the X-ray.
Oh, that's probably why they want to open your bag and
yeah, to embarrass me.
Hope they can find something. Well, there used to be a guy.
What's this, Mr. Curry?
There used to be an editor at I Spy magazine, and this was before the 9/11. Even he used to do this. If he was on a short flight and he didn't really need to pack a lot of stuff, he'd pack his bag filled with dildos, like the most extreme, weird-looking ones.
Why? So
they'd have to go rummage through the bag.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, I actually wanted to just fly, but every single time now, they look at it and they can't identify it.
Yeah, just take it out. It's better.
Yeah. And they still have to do, rub it for explosives, rub my hands like, God. Okay, fine. Now, I was in a particular kind of mood already. I'm really trying to do less electronic stuff in my life when I can, less the electronic communications.
Going simple.
I'm trying to do it. And we had discussed the book Babbitt by Sinclair Lewis. Had we not?
Yes.
So I ordered that book a while ago, and it came, and I started reading it. So I'm going to read Babbitt. Now, can you explain the story a bit about Babbitt?
Just a story about a loser.
Exactly.
But he's not a loser in anyone's mind except the readers at the point where you start feeling sorry for the guy. At the time in the late 20s.
This is the point.
American businessman. Yes. This is a kind of a overview of the American businessman and how he's stuck living a life of memes.
Right. This 1920s, and I think this is one of his most famous books, right?
Yes, it's one of his top 5.
Right. And so you are in a very particular mindset. The language is a little older. It's a little old-fashioned, the way it's written. And I had just received, before I left, a box, which was in the P.O. box. I had to send one of Don's books off to one of our producers. He wanted me to have it signed by him for his dad's birthday. Like, okay. So I had to go to the P.O. box, to the post office. I go to the box, and man, what is this? You open a P.O. box and you get someone else's mail who used to have that box number.
Yeah,
that's annoying. That's really, I don't know if it's distressing, but yeah, it's quite annoying. And junk mail. Why am I getting junk mail? Like circulars for shopping at H-E-B. Why is that coming to the P.O. box? I don't understand this.
Well, they paid to have it delivered to everybody. There's a program.
If you can get out of it? Oh, okay, you can get out of it. All right. Yeah. So this box is heavy, and I just kind of opened it up before I left, and there are 2 beautiful books in it. One I had already read, but and I'll get to that in a second. But the other one is called The Science of Survival. Are you familiar with this book?
No.
Good, because it makes the story easier to tell. And this book it's like a reference book. I used to have a Webster's dictionary. We had it at home, and it has those indents so you can put your finger in and then flip to the right page.
Yeah.
What's that called? What are those things called?
Indents, so you can flip to the right page.
I'm sure there's a publishing term for it.
I'm sure there is.
You would know these things.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. Well,
nobody does that anymore.
Well, it's beautiful. Really, really pretty, beautiful book. I'm like, okay, great. And accompanied with it is a letter, a 6-page handwritten note. It's not a note, it's a letter. It's a full-on letter from one of our knights down under. So, I'm starting to read this, And he's a Scientologist, and this book, Science of Survival, is the book that L. Ron Hubbard wrote after Dianetics.
Huh.
And it's an interesting book, and there is some controversy, of course, about it. But this is about the tonality of people and what frequencies they're on, and just stuff that I'm interested in. You know me, I'm interested in that.
Yeah, this is all right up your alley.
Yeah. So it was really this. It was kind of a nice. I'm in this old-fashioned mode. I'm reading a handwritten letter, and then I just thought, really, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to start writing people letters again.
Okay,
it's a lot more fun.
Is that where the story led to? That's not the punchline?
Well, the punchline is there's no punchline per se.
Well, let's get back to the okay.
But yes, you want to ask something?
I thought we were heading to Amsterdam, and all of a sudden we're talking about Scientology.
Well, we don't have to talk about it.
You know that L stands for an L. Ron Hubbard?
Loser?
Laugh. You're going to get that's Adam at curry.com for all you Scientologist listeners. Lafayette.
Oh.
Hey, Lafayette, you here?
Now, you remember
Hubbard?
Two of the top Scientology, Church of Scientology PR people, were in Austin, and we hung out quite a bit. So this is, they're clearly on a path to get me, to suck me in.
Yeah. I hope they do it.
What's that?
Nothing.
Although,
so you've gotten through the TSA,
right? So anyway, so I do all that. I get on the plane in Atlanta, and of course they have the newspapers, the Dutch newspapers. I don't know if KLM does this. I really like that. And there's 3 or 4 different Dutch newspapers, and you just pick one up, and you go and you start reading the news from that day. Front page, big on the big tabloid, the Telegraaf. The Dutch government has admitted now that they snuck back, repatriated, but under huge secrecy, something like 16 billion euros worth of gold from New York, and it came on ships, and so they say, now a third of our reserves are back in the Dutch bank, and it was really kind of it was interesting. This is happening a lot. We have Germany doing it, Switzerland's talking about it, and it was just a strange, the whole secrecy of it. Have you heard anything about this?
Nope. But I'll tell you this much, since we always end up being the winners in these deals, it means the price of gold is going to drop like a rock.
Really?
Yeah, until it goes back up. But it'll drop like a rock to screw these guys for pulling that stunt.
Hey. Okay, well, that's a good tip. Put that one in the red book.
Okay, well.
All right, so I arrive. I'm in the apartment, my buddy's apartment, who lets us rent it from him cheap because he lives in L.A., and he's only here once in a while, so it's all good. And then, I'm waiting, I'm done my dinner. I'm really tired. I want to go to bed. And then I'm waiting for the newsletter thing. And just the Dutch TV, John, it's really insane. It's so, I don't know, I've forgotten how crazy it is. And I was only here like 2 months ago. And, of course, we have Sinterklaas coming up. That's December 5th. I saw ads for board games. When was the last time you saw an ad on, like, before the news with a family playing a board game?
I saw one on the Glenn Beck show on the Blades.
I mean,
seriously,
no, big news, like real television.
Oh no, never. And
then there's all these the electric car ads, because of course they're all in the Dutch. There's Teslas driving around everywhere, as we just pointed out, subsidized by the American government. The big car here is the BMW i Series. I've never even seen this.
Oh yeah, it's been out here too for a while.
The i3 and the i8. I'd never seen this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It's really nice.
Nobody's flying them that I know of.
They look gorgeous. The i8 does. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's good.
Unaffordable.
You go a few miles before it craps out, and then you're screwed.
It's a hybrid. No, it has a 3-cylinder engine.
That's the hybrid. That's right.
The 3-cylinder. But the i3, I guess, is completely battery.
Yeah, i3. Yeah.
Okay, so to finalize, and then we'll be caught up here in the Netherlands, besides that it's gray and gloomy and dark and dismal. The pin and poke thing. I now have an American credit card with the chip on it for the pin and poke. No, it doesn't work. It works completely the opposite. People are looking at me like, what? Let me explain. So the idea is you pay for something, you stick your card into the machine, the edge, the short side with the chip on it. You stick it in the machine, and then you're supposed to enter your PIN number. And then it'll go, cha-ching. This is how it should work. I stick it in. It sounds good. I stick it in, and it says, do you want this transaction in euro or dollars? And why would they even ask that? It's the same amount.
I have no idea.
So you do have that choice.
I'll tell you why. So there's that mechanism, it kind of includes some way to screw you out of a dollar.
I'm thinking to myself exactly that. Like, oh, what's the rate? What's the rate? I'm getting fucked on this deal. I don't know what the rate is. Because they just say a number. Wow, shoot, hold on a second. Let me get one of these things right now. Maybe this is, okay, here we go. You ready for it? Let me see. No, they don't.
You have a terminal there? You have a terminal?
Yeah,
what do you got there? What are you doing?
I thought on one of these I saw that it had both amounts printed on it. The euros and the... shoot.
You need a calculator to make sure you don't get screwed.
Here it is. Here.
I'm guessing that...
Here it is. It was the exchange rate I got today. Okay. You'll love this. All right, here we go. This is why it's done. You're absolutely right. This is going to be an incredible revelation. If you take your pin and poke and piss pass over to Europe and you stick it in the machine and it gives you the option of paying in US dollars, do not select that option.
It's for the dummies from America.
So we go, oh yeah, put it in dollars. That's where I'm from. And I did this today for the first time. And I'm here ready for the exchange. What is the exchange rate today according to the John C. Dvorak LIBOR charts?
Well, if you want the real number, I can guess right now.
No, I need the real number.
I'm going to give it to you. Hold on a second.
I have the exchange rate
right here.
Okay. All right. Let me tell you.
Right now it's the 123.86.
123.86. Do you have a pen? Write that down. 123.86. I also have 4 after the decimal. For the exchange rate, by selecting US dollars, my exchange rate today was 129.52.
Wow, they made 6 cents on you per euro.
Per euro. But what is it? That's a ripoff.
Yeah. Well, they're scamming you.
Good. So we learned that. But then you say okay, and that's when. So first they say, "Do you want to pay this?" Okay. The next step would be enter your PIN number. Okay. Instead, it says you get a little happy face like ching, yay, and then I didn't enter anything, and then the person behind the terminal goes, "Oh, what?" And then an extra piece of paper comes out that they're not expecting. So not just my receipt, but another.
So
piece
they're
of paper.
stunned by this.
They are. So far, I've seen it every single time. Like, what? The Starbucks girl is really funny. And you have to sign. So what's the point of that?
What is the point? That's dumb.
It's almost like Apple Pay. You still have to sign something. So now it's like it's acting.
Then they're holding this thing you signed. They've never seen one before. What do they do with it? Stick it in their pocket?
No, it's what they used to get when you swipe your credit card. So it's identical to swiping your credit card. It's just reading your information off of the PIN.
It's a joke.
So it's completely not interactive. Anybody can steal this, stick it in. Anybody can steal it, stick it in, and rip me off.
Yeah, because there's no PIN involved.
No PIN. It was bogus. It's just a credit card, and they've moved the magnetic stripe info onto this chip.
Huh. Well, I had no idea it was that bad.
Well, you've learned something here.
Yep.
Already at the best podcast in the universe, where I am in the middle of bird flu.
Bird flu?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. There's bird flu going on over there.
Yeah.
What's the story?
I'll give you a little update. We probably should do this properly, as I didn't even realize it, because it's not just any old bird that this is happening to.
The war on chicken.
Another 10,000 chickens are to be slaughtered in the Netherlands, where a third case of avian flu has been found on a farm. It brings to more than 200,000 the number of birds culled in the last 2 weeks, after there were also cases in Germany and the UK. The Dutch may be the worst affected, but they believe they've quickly taken the right measures.
Kill them!
We've announced a standstill, which means that it is not allowed to transport poultry, eggs, poultry manure, and things like that.
Hey, no chicken shit here.
For the next 72 hours from this area, and from the rest of the Netherlands as well, so that we can keep the virus as small as possible, as we can.
These little chicks.
Risks to human health remain small in this outbreak.
And they show this farm where this farmer, it's indoors, and it's just a million little cute yellow chicks. And you can just say, you're all going to die.
Oh, God.
And they're cute, and they're yellow, and they're little peepee, and they're running around, and the farmer walks through them, and they all go, and they kind of flow around his feet. They're all so cute, and they're going to die.
And the farmers are biting their nails ahead of the make-or-break Christmas season.
I'm biting my nails.
When poultry sales soar, and there are birds on nearly every European table.
Mm-hmm. A couple things about this report. One,
people are eating. Okay.
This is an 11-year cycle. 2003 is when we last had avian flu, bird flu in the Netherlands, and we had the Castle Light in Belgium, and we were no more than, I think, 2 kilometers from the circle where they were culling all birds, and we had black swans and ducks and just a million different. It would have been horrible. They come in because they would come in and just kill everything. But I remember that as a burning event, and I haven't seen any of that. That's what I think. You have to burn all of it. You can't just kill them. You got to kill them and then burn them.
Man, it smelled like a giant barbecue going on.
Hey, they didn't say that they're not selling it. That they're just killing them now.
Huh.
They didn't actually say, how they're disposing of it.
It's always astonishing to me how many chickens they can just get rid of, and nobody seems to be affected monetarily.
Well, they did say that the farmers were biting their nails because this is the big chicken killing season.
Yeah, they got to bring up a new batch.
Yeah.
But it only takes like a month or so for a chicken to become mature, I think.
And they're so cute and yellow.
The chicks.
Yeah, little chicks.
Yeah, they're brutal. They're pecking machines. They see a dot on some, they'll peck another cute little chicken to death.
Yeah,
they're horrible animals. They're reptilian.
They're cute.
They look cute to you.
No, hey, you're telling me I had chickens. We had this idyllic idea of and every morning I'll go to the coop and I'll go get the fresh eggs from the chicken.
Yeah, you can't really eat a fresh egg, by the way.
Why not?
It's just hatched egg. For one thing, the shell's still soft. The egg hasn't congealed inside perfectly, so it won't stand up in the pan. It usually falls apart. It just makes a mess. And you have to let them sit for a couple of days.
Right. But that's not the story. See, when you have the castle and you're in this make-believe fake life with helicopter pads and stuff.
Yeah, you have your hand under a chicken, it plops an egg in your hand, and you're eating.
It's almost like that. But here's how the story differs. You go, whoop, 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 I'm going to my chickens, I'm going to get an egg. And you come near, and the chicken's going, and they're mean.
And and especially the roosters.
And they peck at you, and they don't want you even in the coop. And it hurts when they peck your hand. Like, what?
Yeah, well, you have to be more aggressive.
That's not how the idyllic story goes that I grew up with.
Yeah, no, you have to just grab the chickens and throw them every which way to grab the eggs and run for it.
Yeah,
it's hardly idyllic.
That's the best way to do it. Exactly. Yeah, it was very disappointing, among many other things.
Well, I'm glad you settled in.
Well, kind of. And the only reason I'm here is this photo shoot.
You're at a photo shoot? They're taking pictures of you?
No, on Tuesday there's a photo shoot.
What photo shoot?
It's didn't I tell you the story?
No.
Oh, is it
not about a photo shoot?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's Adam in Austin. Hey, there's a photo shoot, Adam. They're going to take your picture. Really? Where? I'll fly there tomorrow.
Exactly how it went.
Yeah.
No. So they were putting together the Veronica magazine. It is the biggest, has the largest circulation. I think they have a million copies a week. For a country of 17 million, that's not bad.
No, that's huge.
It's like a TV guide, media magazine, lifestyle. Then it's a derivative of the old pirate ship, Veronica. But a lot of steps in between the old pirate ship and this magazine. And so they want to do some kind of reunion with all of the different people who have hosted this show, Countdown. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe this is supposed to be some big surprise. I don't know. Maybe I'm messing it all up.
Too late now.
Yeah, whoops. All right. Some show reunion thing. And so they emailed me a couple times like, hey, by any chance, are you going to be in the Netherlands on this? And I'm like, no. And again, it's like, wow, we're doing this really cool idea, and it would really be a shame. We can't do this without you. And I'm thinking, now I don't have to say anything.
So what happened was they were going to do this, but they were going to try to keep it a secret. And to get you to come, they actually had to tell you the secret.
I don't think it's that deep. I think
it is.
No, I think they're just cheap. No, they're just cheap. No, they're cheap. And then they said, well, how about if we fly you in? I said, okay, I'll do that. Because I think I could see Christina, and it'd be fun, a little trip for a couple days.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, they were hoping to God that you were going to be there somehow, some way.
Yeah, because they're cheap. With 1 million copies a week, cheap bastards.
Yeah, I understand. They're cheap. Right. It's very common.
And then the guy says, okay, we'll do it. I said, okay, cool. And then, it's like, it's easier if I just pay for it. I'll order the tickets and you can reimburse me. So then I would have some money in the Dutch bank account, which has no money in it, and then I would have that, just as a backup. And the guy's like, "Okay, yeah, great." Just to reiterate, and I'm like, "We only pay for economy class." I'm like, "Fuck, really?
Cheap.
Fuck, cheap." And I even said that. So, oh yeah, okay, fly the guy in who's the tallest. Put him in economy. For the photo shoot. Ever hear of Photoshop? Okay. Make it economy comfort. Okay. Economy comfort.
Well, that's at least something.
I'll give you that.
Because you can't have now that ever since they invented that economy comfort or economy extra or whatever they call it, depends on the airline. They made all the other seats. You might as well shoot yourself. If you got into one of those seats, you can't even get out.
Here's the little known secret. They didn't create Economy Plus. They just shrunk economy down to 3 rows and then put in smaller seats in the back.
Yeah.
This is what used to be normal. Like, my knees are not actually touching the seat in front of me. It's not by much. And until the person, puts their seat back, and then you just have to go with the flow.
Yeah, the seat goes
so anyway,
back.
So that's why I'm here.
Okay, well, that's fine.
I thought it was good. That way we get
you out of the house.
Yeah. All right, we have, just so you know, the spreadsheet just came in.
Oh. All
right.
I've been waiting for that.
Yeah.
Because Eric was unaware of our
well, of course.
time.
I mean,
why would I bother telling him?
I know. I have these same thoughts. Why would, I didn't tell Void Zero. I was like, well, I didn't tell him. Why would he have to know? Oh, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. They should be able to figure it out on their own.
Yeah, I think that everyone else.
You got to tell somebody everything.
Yeah, I think that they're always listening to every single second of the show and know everything. That's what you hope. I'm always surprised. Yeah, I'm always surprised.
Well, then you might as well greet me. We can get on with the show.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your courage. And let me say in the morning to you, John C. Dvorak.
In the morning to you, Adam Curry. Also, in the morning to all the ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there.
Yes. And in the morning to everyone in the chat room, noagendastream.com, checking us out live on the stream. And also in the morning to our artistes. I'll bring this up here. Artwork for 671 Dictator. Now, this was, wasn't that an evergreen?
Yeah, it was an evergreen. Yeah, we couldn't find anything. There was very few submissions for the last show.
A little disconcerting. I don't think it's ever been that. Maybe there was something wrong. Maybe sometimes it goes on the fritz. It's the headless Drupal.
That's possible. But so we had to dig into the evergreen box.
Right.
Which there's lots in there. And you could find something in there usually that will suffice. Suffice is the key.
Yeah.
And it sufficed. It was good.
Okay, so I'm just getting did we get any support today? Okay.
Well, we do have some people to thank, if
Yes.
that's what you mean.
Yeah, okay.
And let me thank them.
Hold on, I know what I need.
For show 672. And yes, please.
Yeah. Oh, here it comes.
Citizens of Dvorak Nation, please rise to recognize another contribution from the Grand Duke of USA himself, David
Grand
Here's
Duke.
what that guy said.
Huh?
Anyways, David Foley tops the list today with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one of his favorites. Thursday's show, he says, was an excellent example of why this is the best podcast in the universe. The breakdown and analysis of several key topics was incredible.
Wow.
Incredible. Balanced with a lot of humor. Please send some no agenda karma to all of us traveling this coming week for a safe journeys. That includes you, Adam.
Yeah. Hey now.
You've
Nice.
got karma.
I love that. Well, not just like a financial contribution, but actual kudos.
Yeah. That was that was good.
That was really good.
Do you have the beginning of this long note that was sent here by our next? This is associated. By the way, Foley's the only executive producer. This Dave Dadouche in Malibu.
Hold on a
Give him
second.
a 26666. He'll be the associate executive producer for show 672 and sends a note that starts out there that might love the show.
Hold on a second. Let me just. I'm working on only one very small screen here, so it's things just taking me a little.
I know what he said. He said there's people out there that might love the show but don't have the guts to donate because they're either nervous about being called out on a list someday, or they find you terribly amusing but think you're batshit crazy, or they would never donate to anything, etc. Hopefully, they're doing their part by propagating the formula. And some of them are. Some of them aren't. You guys are definitely the most fun, informative show out there. I actually like the fact that I don't agree with some of the things you say, which speaks to the whole promise of the no agenda philosophy, to deconstruct the scenarios we see in front of us and think carefully for ourselves about who or what is behind them. From that perspective, I am forever in your debt. One of the many blessings of the show is to remind us that we are all free thinkers that should ultimately come to our own conclusions. I have a movie coming out November 20th.
I love that. Nice. Slick.
Called Aftermath, which I provided the music, and I'm one of the producers. I think the No Agenda listeners will love it. It's right on topic regarding the devolution of the human mind as it becomes infatuated with money, sex, and power.
Not necessarily in that order.
And he has a special offer. Which we'll put in the show notes.
Okay,
if
well,
we figure out what it is. As it gets harder and harder to do something edgy and creative, it's seen in these screwed up X-Men 15, Batman 25 types of time. It's only playing in New York and Los Angeles. Okay, this is a movie.
Well, he's got the two major markets. That's good.
Yeah, well, this is the two. Might as well just do that.
Well, this was Chris Penn's final performance.
Yes, his Aftermath was Chris Penn's final performance, and he did an amazing job. Tony Danza is also incredible, and there are quite a few other excellent actors in it. People are saying Aftermath is a style of Reservoir Dogs and True Romance. Michael Anthony Hall gives a stellar performance for his total asshole.
Wait, Michael Anthony Hall? Who's he again?
Look him up. Which is sadly enough isn't much of a stretch. If that's saying something, I guess. If any of the No Agenda listeners like it, please hit somebody in the mouth.
All right.
Okay, anybody that goes to see Aftermath and says in the morning at the box office will get $3 off the ticket price.
Or you'll get one of these looks. What?
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 Go see Aftermath in New York on the 28th as a quad cinema in LA on the week of the 5th of December. Here's the greatest podcast in the universe.
He was in Weird Science. That's who that is.
Weird Science?
Yes. Science! You remember when they made like the Weird Science? Yeah, you do. When they made a girl come to life.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a very attractive female.
Kelly LeBrock. Kelly LeBrock is who that was.
Yeah, LeBrock looked great. She ended up marrying Ringo Starr.
What? Well,
Yep. I believe so. Oh, no, it was the other girl who married. Well, the other girl who married Ringo Starr looks just like Kelly LeBrock. Anyway, he says he's going to finish his knighthood and he wants to be, well, he has to tell us when it happens, which is Sir Douche of Doucheland. Okay. Which means he probably lives in L.A. No, he does. He lives in Malibu. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Sir Borislav Marinov in Trabuco Canyon, California, very close to that, 23333. Please send me an apartment buying karma and successful purchase, by the way. Please send me an apartment. What?
Hold on a second. We have some clips here.
I'm sorry, Dave LaDouche.
Yeah, we got some clips.
It has at the very bottom. He wants Obama. That's the story. Little boy, boom shakalaka, and a karma for Doucheland.
Okay, hold on a second. Little boy, boom shakalaka. What was the first one? Obama. That's the story.
Yeah, that's the story.
That's the story.
He probably means the whole thing.
Well, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. So we're just.
That's what I would.
And that's the story. Bingo, boom shakalaka.
That's not the right boom shakalaka. Oh, damn. This is going to be one of those shows.
Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka.
And the karma.
You've got karma.
Okay. Just want to make sure we get that done, man. Because I get a note. You didn't give me my karma. All right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
A lot of people complain. Sir Borislav Marinov. We always give it eventually. 23333 in Trabuco Canyon. Please send me an apartment buying karma and successful purchase, by the way. Karma, I guess. I'm pretty much sure I have donated over $3,000 on my behalf and $3,000 for my three boys' knights.
I bet he has.
One of them is the youngest knight at age 2 days, which should make me at least a baron or a viscount. No, it'd be a baron.
A baron, right? Yeah. Well, no, but it's 6.
The other 3 is used by the other people.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
He's in for 3.
Did you write this down? Have you adjusted this in the ledger?
Yeah, this is the way I have it. Can we get a part of Orange County, the South Orange County? If it is taken, I'll have to think about. Oh, he wants to be the Baron of South Orange County. Sure. Think about which part to get. No, we got it. You can have all of Orange County.
I don't think
you got it. Take the whole county.
No one has Orange County?
No.
Are you looking at the right ledger, the full ledger?
Yeah. I don't believe anyone has that. This is off the top of my head. I don't have the list of the.
Okay, that's risky.
Protectorates.
All right.
If we get it, if there's a dispute, it will be resolved
in arbitration.
Peerage court. No real arbitration.
Court will come to order.
It's done by fiat.
Okay.
All right, so we'll put him on the list for that,
and we'll give him some karma, right? We definitely should.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, here's karma.
You've got karma.
Whoa.
Anonymous, $222.22 from München, Deutschland. He did leave a note saying, make sure I'm anonymous.
Okay.
Sir Upper Decker in Escondido, $200. As a knight, I would like to request you add an option for your knighting ceremony. Oh, brother. Got your pen out?
Is it wait a minute.
Dos Equis and a Dutch dominatrix.
Okay.
In honor of Adam's trip to Holland and my sexy Dutch fiancée.
Do we have a picture of her?
Sir Upper Decker.
Do we?
I want to see her in leather. Okay, here we go. And does he need anything? He's got no karma requests. Okay, we don't need
Okay, Dos Equis and Dutch dominatrix is added. Okay.
Sir HFMIC. Oh, by the way, this note was cut off.
He sent a couple of them. I think he was very drunk.
Did you? He was plowed. Did you get an email from him that? Because I said him sent an email.
What do we have from him? We have
part of a note. You know what? We like the guy so much. We'll read his full note when he wants us to. As a knight, I'd like to request you add an option. Wait, no, sorry.
Below that.
This is sir HFMIC, $200 from Montpelier, Vermont. Been meaning to donate, now following through after seeing the meager offerings of the last few shows. Sunday shows are always low, despite the outstanding is what he really wants to say. Analysis and value delivered. To touch on a point you brought up a few shows ago regarding DOD advising troops on their.
I think it was on their taking flags and symbols off of their cars and their houses. Don't fly flags because ISIS is going to come and kill you.
Yeah, they're going to kill you. ISIS.
Yeah. He sent a couple of notes, and he was like, "I'm drunk." And I'm drunk. Okay.
Well, I mean,
we
I don't want to interrupt him. Well, I have a clip that actually replies to this a little bit.
Okay.
But let's finish with Ed Laboutier. And he just sent in, Ed Laboutier sent in $200 from Hesperia, California. All he wants us to do is pronounce his name correctly.
You did. But you missed one. And
I left out Dawa and Dalla from Marstendick.
I think that. Where'd you get the S? There's no S. It's Martensdijk.
Martensdijk.
Yeah, exactly. Martensdijk.
Yeah. $200.
And what did he say?
Keep up the good work. I'm sick of the MSM since the MH17, like many Dutchies.
Yeah, people are getting very annoyed by this.
Good.
Yeah,
stay human. And then the Boudier, and then we're done. That's $200 for both those two guys, and that's show 672. We want to remind people we do another show coming up on Thursday, and that'll be show 673. And go to Dvorak.org/NA to help us finance that show and the ones in the future that we need money for.
Absolutely, and these are, of course, official credits, and they're good wherever credits are accepted. And unlike the phonies in Hollywood, we'd be very happy to vouch for you.
Dvorak.org/NA.
In addition to that kind of support, we always like you propagating the formula.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Shut up, slave.
Because there was mentioned about the flags and the nonsense about ISIS, there was an interesting incident. I think this was an El Shabaab incident. I have a clip which gives you some idea of what you might want to just maybe do in your spare time. If you like to memorize certain things, play the memorized clip.
Hold on a second. And this was on what again?
This was on France 24, I believe.
28 people were killed today in a pre-dawn attack on a bus in northern Kenya. Witnesses say al-Shabaab gunmen singled out the targets by asking them to recite a passage from the Quran. Those who could not were shot in the head.
Oh, yeah, this story.
Yeah, that was KTVU, our local station. Memorize it, you say something and you're good to go. Crazy.
That's really That's really interesting.
I mean, I would assume that most Muslims don't have a chapter and verse they can just spew. I mean, I know most people can't do that with biblical stuff.
I lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. He that shall protect thee, so the sun shall not burn thee by day, nor the moon by night.
What are you reading?
That's Psalm 121. No, I'm not reading it. That's from memory.
Is something you remember?
Yes.
Memorized?
Yes, that's our going away prayer in the Curry family.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting?
That's very interesting.
Yeah, every single... I don't think we ever talked about this.
Sounds very cultish.
Yeah, I think we are a cult. No, this is...
sounds like
whenever we would leave the homestead, Mead Road, which is where my dad grew up, and the grandparents had that place until they passed away, and then this is where Don is now. Three Ponds, I think it's called. He calls it now.
So when you leave, is there a guard in front? And he says
yes,
the wet seagull flies at night.
Right, and we all stand in the...
You're allowed to pass?
Listen to me. So when we leave, when everyone's leaving from one of these gatherings, but it has to be with not just when Mickey and I were there, but if there's a whole bunch of family, then we all stand in it is cultish crap. We stand in a circle, we hold hands, and then the oldest grandchild has to read Psalm 121. And so I'm always happy when Lucy is there, or Allison, because you never want to be, oh crap, I got to read the prayer.
Well, this is interesting.
Yeah. And then
and where did this derive?
I'm sorry?
Where did this come from? Who started it?
Well, this is the way it's been up there ever since.
It goes back to when they were.
I have no idea. It's called
with Beelzebub, perhaps.
It's Psalm 121. It's not the devil.
Say it again.
Now I can't do it. I'm really conscious of it. It's really bad. I lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. He that shall shelter me, so the sun shall not burn me by day, nor the moon by night, and something like that.
Well, it's worked so far.
Well, this is a good point.
And you're superstitious anyway, so there you have it.
I do. Well, that's part of the OCD Tourette's thing. A lot of people have that. Well, don't step on the cracks. I have to say Cinco de Mayo.
That's right. Actually, I remember that in the special I saw on the Tourette's, and a lot of Tourette's sufferers won't step on a crack, and they won't step on a lot, and they do crazy things like that. They see a pen that's not sitting in the right place, they move it.
I'm not that bad.
No, but you're a neat freak.
Not really.
You don't think you are, but you are. Believe me. I should know.
Right. How do you know?
Because I can spot a neat freak a mile away.
I'm not all that neat.
And I always think to myself, I wonder if he got his training in the Army or he's got Tourette's.
You've always thought that, huh?
Yes. Actually, I have.
All right. So while we're being frightened on France 24, BBC has their own version of it.
Within an hour of the charges being announced, the three men were driven into Westminster Magistrates Court in two dark blue, armoured, high-security police vans. They were accompanied by unmarked cars. The hearing lasted less than an hour, and the district judge quickly passed the case on to the Old Bailey. The suspects didn't ask for bail. The three men appeared in the dock in standard police-issue grey tracksuits and laughed and joked through parts of the hearing.
Listen to this, laughed and joked.
At the heart of the charges against them is that there was an alleged imminent plot to behead a member of the public in England. They were detained in dramatic armed raids in High Wycombe and West London 3 days before Remembrance Sunday.
Am I living in a television show? Hey, I hear you're going to chop someone's head off. You're under arrest.
They could have thrown in a cab. The giant armored vehicles that protect these dangerous men.
Who have somehow said they were thinking about cutting some people's heads off. I mean, it's one thing to say they were plotting a bomb, because then even if it's not true, at least you'll think, they had ammonia, they bought that, and nails and shrapnel and pressure cookers.
They were in a beauty salon too long.
Yeah, I mean, I got all kinds of visuals that are all good to go, But then when you say they're going to cut people's heads off, so what were they doing? Like sharpening their blades? It just doesn't sound like a real big offense.
No. And I think it's going to be hard to prove.
That's why they were laughing and joking.
Well, the thing is some of these guys, I mean, we had this with those characters that were caught in the Florida warehouse, and they were plotting this evil scheme. Remember those three clowns or four clowns?
They were dumb.
They were morons.
They were Dumb and Dumber Alpha.
They were just these dumb guys.
Just, that's cool, man, whatever.
Kind of joshing with each other, and the next thing you know, they're in jail.
Yeah.
And of course, they probably should be, but it's beside the point.
Right. Just
for being stupid.
Fantastic.
So in UKIP, I do have a British clip, since we're in Britain for a second.
Mm-hmm.
UKIP grows by 1.
Oh.
Now, it was a local election, but the eyes of a nation and indeed the world were on it. The anti-EU right-wing UKIP party have won a second seat in British Parliament.
That was front page news here. I did see it.
So the world was on, but it wasn't in the United States. Nobody cares or even knows what UKIP is.
Yeah,
but that was actually was actually a story that people picked up in Holland.
Oh yeah, because because that's another reason to talk about Geert Wilders. So UKIP, blah blah member in Parliament, but he couldn't work it out with Geert Wilders, the crazy guy on the right, crazy fucker. He's nuts. Look at his crazy hair. Yeah, and somehow a lot of people still vote for him. Very funny how that works. It's one of those, and that may be very Dutch also. I'm going to say this, but I'm going to do that. That guy's
universal.
Yeah, I guess it is. Stupid. Why don't we just say?
Because people don't. It's politically correct. Yes, it's just what it really came from.
That's really an unnatural state.
Anyway, so the guy won. But he used to be a Cameron guy. He used to be a conservative.
I didn't know that.
He switched sides. Because, you know, what he did was he looked at the way the wind's blowing in his area, his district, and he said, I better do this or I'm going to get kicked out of here by some UKIP guy who actually comes in as real UKIP.
Right.
That's what it was.
There was something pretty significant that happened in European Parliament, and I think it's probably got zero coverage. No one even knows it here. It's something that we've looked at before in a lot of the dealings during the Euro crisis. They celebrated the single supervisory mechanism, which has now been put in place. And this is a financial, it's not an agreement. Maybe, I don't know exactly what the legal form of this is, but it's all the banks now are controlled from Brussels and the European Central Bank. Every single bank in every country in the EU zone. And Heiko Herman is still here. I guess he gets to sit all the way up until January 1st or December 31st. And he celebrated along with everybody else as one of his final. This is the whipped cream and the icing really on top of the Heiko Herman cake.
It's a great pleasure to be here and to take the floor at this important moment.
Take the floor. This guy's great. Don't take the floor.
This is clownish.
Yeah. Yes. I'm glad you see it that way too.
Today's inauguration of the single supervisory mechanism
supervisory
signals a revolution in Europe's financial architecture.
A revolution. The definition of a revolution is that they captured something. They overtook something. I think these words matter.
Just as importantly, we are celebrating the opening of a new chapter in the wider history of European integration. The banking union is the biggest leap forward since the creation of the euro.
Whoa, the banking union. Cool.
It is for me a particular satisfaction to celebrate the breakthrough today at the very end of my European mandate, which has been so much shaped by our crisis response.
Oh, yes. You're so awesome. Thank you for saving us.
It feels as if la boucle est bouclée.
Hey, la boucle est bouclée.
What? Michael Bublé? What is he saying?
Michael Bublé. The boucle de bouclée. Bouclée. It's a French thing.
As if we are coming full circle.
I guess it means as if we are coming full circle.
I also want to take this occasion.
Comes around, goes around. That's got to be what it is.
Makes sense.
On these premises to thank the European Central Bank.
Aha, thank you.
And in particular, its two presidents, Jean-Claude Trichet and Mario Draghi.
Oh, man. These guys are all congratulating each other, too.
I'm surprised they're not pinning medals on each other.
You wait.
For their role in taming the crisis of the Eurozone.
Put that in the book. Put that in the book. They already have the sash thing going on.
Yeah.
Put it in the book.
I'm putting it in.
Medals to be awarded to European EU politicians. I think that's broad enough. Any EU politician can be awarded a medal. Good idea.
Shaping a new European currency for the world financial system.
I didn't quite understand that. He's talking
about that last little bit one more time.
I was like, what are you saying about it? Is a new currency? I didn't quite get that. It was a little
crisis of the Eurozone and shaping a new European currency for the world financial system.
A new European
no, he's talking about is the euro.
Okay.
It's new.
The work is not over.
No.
The four presidents' report on a genuine economic and monetary union is a roadmap for the upcoming years. The next frontier will be to move towards closer economic policy coordination.
Yeah. Closer economic policy coordination.
In other words, do what we say.
Yes. When we're putting medals on each other's breast. This is when you will do as we say with your money.
The challenge will now be to bring back sustainable growth and jobs.
Bring back some growth and jobs. This will be the challenge.
Here also, we must put aside taboos.
Taboose? How about the caboose in your taboose? Let me play that again.
What did he say?
He said you went taboos? taboo, as in taboos, things that are
taboos.
But it says taboose. What the hell is that?
Back sustainable growth and jobs. Here also, we must put aside taboos.
There are a lot of people who listen to this show and really hate it when we laugh at people how they pronounce stuff. It's great.
Ideology, obsessions.
Obsessions. Hold on. No, I'm messing it up now. It's not just taboos. It's ideologies. Hold on.
Aside taboos.
Taboose.
Ideology.
Taboose.
Obsessions.
Obsessions.
And be pragmatic and result-oriented.
Taboose. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, without growth and jobs, the European idea itself is in danger. But we can overcome...
What is the European idea then? Just enslave everybody?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, you got it.
Threat to... Economic policies are not an aim in themselves. Financial stability is not an aim in itself. We are doing this to safeguard and increase prosperity for all Europeans.
We're going to save you, and they're going to give me a medal for it after I've saved you, Europeans.
To consolidate and deepen our European projects.
Consolidate and deepen our project.
When we keep this fundamental inspiration in mind...
Did they see it like as a high school assignment? Their project?
This is like insane.
Yes, I know. This is exactly what this... When I was watching TV, I got this like... Fuck me, it's happening here, John. It's happening.
Of course it is.
And
next thing you know, they'll take the bikes away, and then the Germans will be running everything.
When we remind ourselves...
You're right, though, man. You're so right. Oh, by the way, the probe into the U.S. NSA spying on Angela Merkel, the Germans said, turns out that was nothing. Didn't really happen. So we're just we're stopping with the probe. It's all good now. We're fine. Didn't really happen. It was just some phony baloney
some
report.
Quid pro quo we don't have any idea of.
Exactly. How about that?
Yeah. She was all miffed about it. And I guess finally one of her own spy agency went up to her and said, don't worry about it.
Yeah, well,
this is bullshit. He says, we've already got this other stuff. It's all balanced out. Everything's good.
Now, the BND, the German intelligence, they're good. I hear that from Agent Orange. He's like, BND guys are the best in the world. He thinks
really?
better. He thinks better than CIA. Yeah.
Really?
Well, maybe domestically. I don't know about how they do.
Well, internationally, it's pretty hard to beat us. But the Russians, what is their thing? It's it's not KGB anymore. It's something else.
FSB?
Yeah, FSB.
Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about the FSB. What's the German one?
No, it's BND. The German one is the BND.
FSB, right. FSB.
FSB is Russia.
Is better than the FSB?
Hey, man, why are you questioning my sources?
I'm just asking. I'm asking.
I don't know.
Rhetorically.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I heard.
Well, that's why I'm putting it out there so I can get some feedback from one of these guys who knows.
Okay. Yeah.
And is BND just domestic and foreign, or is it separated out like the MI6?
I don't know.
MI5?
Why don't you look it up? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't care. I do not care.
This is a new John I'm hearing.
Yeah,
I just don't care.
California's finally caught up with me.
That's sad. Well, okay. Into the military-industrial complex we go then, outside of intelligence. This is one of our producers was watching Disney Junior with his human resource, who is 2.
2-year-olds would like that channel, of course.
And here is, and there's a little toy involved, but it's a family, and this is... I don't have the name of this spot, but have a listen.
Be inspired with Disney Junior to salute those who serve our country, just like Riley's dad.
My daddy's in the Air Force.
In the Air Force, my husband keeps all of our equipment running and all of the jets in the air.
I like playing with my dad, and I like cuddling with him.
We Skype almost every morning, me and the kids.
My daddy makes me proud.
What?
Wait, you got to back it up. I like to play with my dad and call him a Russian? Is that what it said?
Be inspired with Disney Junior to salute those who serve our country.
I think you nailed it.
Just like Riley's dad.
My daddy's in the Air Force.
Okay, my daddy's in the Air Force.
In the Air Force, my husband keeps all of our equipment running and all of the jets in the air.
I like playing with my dad, and I like cuddling with him.
We
I play with my dad. I think you're right.
I call him Russian.
Skype almost every morning. Me and the
Dad's a spy.
kids.
My daddy makes me proud.
There are lots of brave people
My daddy makes me proud.
who protect our country. Even Doc has a pal she's extra proud of.
Ready to serve.
Ready to serve.
When we are, we have our hats are off to you.
He's willing to sacrifice. That's the best kind of toy to be.
For courage, strength, and verve.
Be inspired with Doc and Disney Jr. to say thanks to those who keep our country safe.
No, there's no militarization taking place.
There's nothing to see here.
You know what bothers? I'll tell you what bothers me the most. This is all, just I don't know what the point of any of this is. These little kids aren't paying attention, but it's when they've changed the baseball. Besides having a big to-do at the beginning of a game, where they sing the national anthem and all this, which I think, by the way, sporting events and this proud to be an American combination. I think it's demeaning to America, to be honest about it.
Of course it is.
But then now in the seventh inning, instead of the seventh inning stretch where you take a little time off so they can, do the field and smooth things out. Yeah. And then they used to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" just to kill some time. Now they've changed it to singing "America the Beautiful" with an armed guards.
Yeah.
A bunch of Marines.
Armed guards, really?
Well, Marines, the Marine guards standing there holding Marine guards.
Well, this is
flags.
This is new.
I mean, come on, how much of this? Well, they're going to do this in the football game at the end of every quarter. They can sing another patriotic tune. It's just dumb.
Why not? You're already in a fighting kind of mood. It's your guys against their guys. This is the whole thing. That's just the American version of the people here sitting here waiting for the Germans to come and take their bikes away again. It's the same thing.
Going to happen.
It's the same thing.
Dutch, you're going to get your bikes taken away again.
That is so offensive. You have no idea.
I'm sure they're all offended. Oh, that's not true. The AEU is great. We have a lot of listeners who are big. They're very. It's just like the global warming of Europe.
Yeah.
They're all in.
Well, so right along these lines, there was one of our producers sent in some info about this security forum that was being held in Halifax. Halifax, when I say Halifax.
Halifax.
Sorry. From now on, it'll be known as Halifax. And this forum is known as Fortress North America. This is, I guess, let me see who's running this. Well, it's obviously just, it's military-industrial complex. And sent us this clip on this forum. And if you look around, you'll see this is really just where they have the tanks on sale and all the cool guns. And it's really just it's a gun show.
Trade show, yeah.
It's a trade show.
And they're great.
And one of their featured speakers, of course, who would you expect at a show that likes to sell
Dick Cheney
stuff that kills brown people in sandy areas?
Dick Cheney.
No, come on. That guy's a zombie. How about someone who's in Congress now?
Rogers.
Think bigger asshole.
Think bigger asshole than Rogers?
Yeah.
Think bigger asshole. All right, tell me.
John McCain.
Oh!
Welcome back to the West Block from the Halifax International Security Forum. I want to point out something here. We have the largest congressional delegation ever to come to Canada, led by Senator John McCain of Arizona and Tim Kaine from Virginia. Thanks very much. Senator McCain, you've been involved in this forum since the beginning. You're obviously seized with the issue of how we operate here in North America, especially cooperatively. What do you think about the idea of creating a greater Fortress North America? Does that make any sense to you?
Well, it makes a lot of sense to me because I think that there's very little doubt of what the intentions of ISIS and other terrorist organizations. But
this guy,
are they going to come over here with their fighter jets or their battleships?
They're submarines, man. They're on their way with their floating Toyotas and their white sneakers
with the pontoons on each side of the flop in the back.
Yeah.
They got the design from Haiti.
Exactly. This is why we need, to have more. Now, I'll be the first to say, economically speaking, outside of the petrodollar, it's all we got. So we might as well. And we're doing a good job because we're selling stuff. We just sold $1.2 billion worth of C-17s to Australia, which is 4 of them, by the way. They have 600 million to Iraq in cool stuff. Oh, yeah, it's all in the show notes, by the way. It's all registered.
Well, I'm not. We both agree that this is good for the economy,
right? So let's listen to the rest of this guy who is. So the only problem I have, he's sitting there just giving you some bull crap to justify doing this. And the problem is, I don't mind you building it and selling it to other people, but eventually you have to light it off. And it sucks. You just kill people.
Particularly as we see them strengthening and enlarging their influence throughout the Middle East. Mr. Baghdadi, who is the leader, as we know, of ISIS, who spent 4 years in our Camp Bucca in Iraq.
Wait a minute. I thought we got him. Didn't we hurt him? Didn't we chop an arm off or something?
No, that's another guy with the same name.
Oh.
On his way out the door, said to his American captors, then he said...
Bullshit story, by the way.
New York.
Really? Didn't I just set that up by telling you he's just talking crap?
And Mr. Baghdadi was not known for his sense of humor.
Oh, he's not known for his sense of humor.
So I don't think there's any doubt that our director...
He says Baghdadi is not known...
No, he is not known for his sense of humor. The guy might be riot.
By the way, there are pictures of McCain and Baghdadi. It's like the same pictures of McCain. And
right. I wonder about those.
I don't. Me too. It's hard to say.
It's Photoshop. It's got Photoshop written all over it.
It should be, at least.
Director of National Intelligence, the director of the CIA, and our director of Homeland Security have all stated that ISIS, over time, pose a direct threat to the United States of America, and that, of course, means Canada as well.
Don't you remember?
Oh, those ISIS guys have got Canada in their sights.
Yeah, you know why? You know why?
Crosshairs.
You know why they have Canada in their crosshairs? You know why they hate the Canadians?
Because of their...
For their freedom.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same as here. For their freedom. They're jealous.
I don't know why I can't remember that. It's so simple.
They hate them for their freedom.
Yeah. Well, in a related note, I've got 3 clips that kind of... I'm directing these at McCain.
Good.
Let's start with the story nobody knows about in the United States that I can tell. And these are reports, and I'll tell you in advance, these are reports from RT needling us. They like to do that.
That's fun, yeah.
Many of the reports, RT is a very entertaining news network, especially if you have the channel RT, not just the occasional RT show. I get to watch all the stuff. They're constantly needling us in one way or another. And here's a good one. This is the dead journalist in Turkey story that you've never heard of.
Moscow, good to have you with us. Our top story this hour, the U.S. prides itself on defending its citizens abroad, but the mysterious death of a U.S. journalist working in Turkey for Press TV has so far failed to trigger reaction from Washington. Guy and H. Chikian looks at more.
It's been a month since the death of journalist Surina Shim in Turkey, and the investigation is still yet to release any information. On October 19th, Surina's rental car collided with a cement truck, exactly 2 days after she claimed Turkish intelligence had accused her of spying and threatened her.
I'm very surprised at this accusation. I've even thought of actually approaching Turkish intelligence, and because I have nothing to hide and I've never done anything aside from my job, and I'd like to make that apparent to them. However, I am a bit worried because, as you know, and as the viewers know, that Turkey has been labeled by Reporters Without Borders as the largest prison for journalists. So I am a bit frightened about what they might use against me.
Turkish police say her death was an accident. We at RT have requested a comment from the Turkish authorities and are yet to receive an answer.
All right, wait a minute.
Now, by the way, I want you to look her up so you can see what she looks like.
Because you know my next question. What's her name?
Surina, Serena, Shim, Shim.
Shim. Okay, let's see if she's hot.
See if she... This is the downfall of the show.
Okay. Wow, she's beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
nice eyes, and she's pretty, and she wears the head
she
thing.
looks great in the headpiece, in the
So she got killed.
Ajib.
Nobody's talking about this. Of course, she works for that crazy operation that Iranian.
It was a car accident, yeah.
Yeah, well, a cement truck apparently rolled into her, or pulled right in front of her.
I'm looking at pictures of not looking good. Okay.
She sees a dead woman.
Yeah.
So the play part 2, and this is where it gets kind of interesting when they discuss what she was working on.
Serena Shin had been actively reporting on militants being smuggled into Syria from Turkey.
I got images of them in World Food Organization trucks.
Over the past several years, Turkey has been accused of turning a blind eye to and even aiding the inflow of militants into Syria.
They're just pulling that same stunt again with the UN World Food Program. It's a complete, it's a weapons pipeline.
As the story goes on, it turns out many of the ISIS fighters are coming directly from Turkey through these bullcrap organizations.
Of course.
And just joining ISIS right through Turkey, and she's got the goods on them. So they killed her.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, I've got this clip. Well, this is going on, and we are just oblivious to it.
Hold on a second. Where are these journalists who fight for journalistic integrity? Where's Glenn Greenwald? Where's Jeremy Scahill? Where's Laura Poitras? Where is the outrage in the journalistic community?
They haven't gotten their walking orders. They don't know. They're doing what they're told to do.
Then let us be outraged for her.
Well, we should be. Yes.
Now, was she a real journalist, or is she some spy?
I believe so. She could have been a spy, but
this is important to know.
She was working for us.
She was our spy. Yeah, she's our spy.
I believe that is a possibility.
Hey, you can't go cement trucking our spies.
So now we play Biden in Turkey.
Hold on. This will not stand. That's right. Biden was over there. Oh, man. You're onto something here, John. You're onto something big. I can feel it already.
Biden wants Turkey to step up its role in the fight against Islamic State extremists. The Turkish president wants the U.S. to focus less on fighting the terrorists and more on toppling Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Biden also announced that the U.S. will give an additional $135 million in humanitarian aid to help feed civilians affected by Syria's civil war.
Humanitarian aid.
So something's up here, and Turkey's right in the middle of it. Because we suspected this.
We knew this was going to happen. We knew it would happen.
But exactly how the rift is going to take. I mean, we tried to overthrow this guy with some of our, tech experts and the rest of, twittering and to go over that park. And there's been some riots, and they backed him off.
That didn't work. And then he got rid of all the Gulenists.
As effective as we were in Ukraine,
right?
But I don't know. We have to do something because this can't stand. If we're the scenario we've created with the ISIS threat being bolstered by the Turks, which are screwing things up so they can, somehow get involved at some point. I don't know. I don't have an overall thesis. All I know is that this is taking place. This woman's death is part of it. And Biden's over there, trying to do something. And he's just a schmuck.
He's the messenger boy. They send him with messages.
Boy, he probably told him to just stop doing something, and then there was something that we don't know.
Let me
about.
just see what Serena Shim's background is. She has a very, very, very small wiki page for someone with journalistic. Here, she's a journalist of Lebanese descent. This is her entire wiki page.
There's a lot of people with no wiki pages.
While covering the siege of Kobani as a war correspondent of Press TV, she was killed in a car crash. So that is the entire intro. And then biography, American citizen of Lebanese origin. They've already got it past tense. So they wrote this after she died. Interesting. In her biography, it has one line. Serena Shim, a 29-year-old American citizen of Lebanese origin, covered reports for Press TV in Lebanon, Iraq, and Ukraine. She was married and had 2 children. This is a new biography.
Yeah, that just popped up. Probably wasn't anything there before.
Accusation of spying by Turkey. Here we go. Shim told Press TV the Turkish National Intelligence Organization, MIT, had accused her of spying. She stated that it is probably due to some of the stories she had covered about Turkey's stance on the Islamic State of Iraq and Levant militants in Kobani. All right, so they accuse her of being a spy.
Yeah, and then killed her.
Oh, this is an unfortunate accident.
No, it's a terrible just coincidence.
Yeah, it's very, it's funny.
But anyway, so that's what's going on. They're using these NGOs as cover to move people from God knows what part of the Turkish government or the military into ISIS to work with them and take over the place for some reason. I think Turkey's got expansionist ideas. And
in what direction? What do you mean expansionist?
I think they want to expand Turkey. They're always worried about the Kurds taking over part of the thing. Let's just take over the place.
So what they would want northern Iraq? They would want the Kurdistan?
Yeah, I think so. Why not? Why wouldn't they?
Don't they have a big problem with the PKK though? That's why they have to get rid of the PKK in order to do it.
Yeah, well, if you surround everybody by taking over the place, I think there's a definite. Although I think they'll use it as a proxy state. ISIS is a proxy state doing Turkish. I mean, when they were bombing that Kobani area and that northern part of Syria or that part of Syria near the border, they showed lots of B-roll all along during that entire episode of the Turkish army with all those tanks,
just standing there, just standing
as though they were going to do something about what was going on. But no, they were just there to protect the border and make sure that things didn't go south for the ISIS folks.
Well,
they're in it right up to their neck with ISIS. These guys.
Yeah, and the Fethullah Gulen hasn't been very successful with any kind of internal strife. That's our guy in Pennsylvania.
Our guys didn't cut it. The whole thing fell apart. They didn't have any Maidan deal. They're
I know. Well,
there's a problem.
Look, if we were having the meeting, I mean, I'd say it's very simple. There's only one thing we can do for Turkey. We got to give them some Ebola.
I don't think they're going to get Ebola. I think they're going to. I would guess the only real action that could be taken is assassination.
Yeah, which it wouldn't be the first time they tried to kill him.
Yeah, he's been. I think
right.
But I'm going to put it in the red book that he's going to.
I think that's already in the red book. I think we already predicted.
Erdogan's going to get shot.
Yeah,
or poisoned or something. He's got to be freaking out.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Always fun to watch. Die.
Meanwhile, of course, in France, there's a big scandal because of the Frenchmen joining ISIS, and this is kind of interesting.
Okay. Well, I hadn't heard this, even though I'm not that far.
To focus on the French citizens who are continuing to join the ranks of the Islamic State group in Syria and Iraq.
That's right. Now, an estimated 400 French citizens are believed to be fighting alongside the Islamic State group. It's really been in the spotlight this week in particular after it emerged that at least one French citizen had been identified in the latest video that was put online by the Islamic State group. This is the front page of La Croix, the Christian paper. It's wondering who are these French jihadists? And it takes a closer look inside, interviews some specialists who try to put together a profile. Who are these young French citizens who go fight jihad? Well, according to this article, they're often isolated people who are have become self-radicalized online, and that kind of prized hunting ground, the World Wide Web, that is the focus of Libération today.
The prized hunting ground. We're living in one of those Hunger Game movies here, John. You and
it's like that. Now, here's what I heard the second part of this clip, which you're going to play, which is Frenchman 2. I realized this meme. I know we've maybe touched on bitching about it, but I think we really have to start to complain about this particular meme, which is at this point is now getting on my nerves.
They talk about the online jihad, and they point out that the Islamic State group is very active online. It has very good communication skills online, and this propaganda often works, and that's how they manage to attract these young French citizens to Syria and Iraq.
The meme is that these guys are really good online. They're really
online.
And how does this? Why are these guys so talented, supposedly, with online propaganda, twittering? They tweet so well.
That's easy.
It's bullcrap.
Because they were trained by Hillary Clinton.
Must have been.
Techno experts. Yeah, absolutely. This bull. Oh, well.
But I mean, I'm getting annoyed by how talented the ISIS people are. There are a bunch of guys driving around Toyota trucks with machine guns strapped to the back of these things and hooting with a kind of a generic flag that they're swinging around and chopping people's stuff.
I mean, I am very, I like a lot of, let's put it this way. You have much stricter filters on your email than I do. And I have, so I get a lot of stuff, and I do have to implement filters when I just can't get rid of it. And then I get all, not necessarily spam, but there's a lot of promotional things that I get. And I'm always interested to see what people are doing. And I'm pretty open and susceptible to getting stuff, including, Nigerian princess stuff and, PayPal. Hello, PayPal member. Please click here. Update your account profile with password. Okay. But I have just never, ever, ever, ever come across any ISIS recruitment. I'm on Twitter a lot. Now, I presume that I don't have to speak Arabic and all the Arabic tweets that, that's not how they recruit just kind of people who are ready to be self-radicalized. No.
I have no idea. But all I know is they're great at it.
Yeah. Well, people believe what they want to believe.
All right.
So anyway. Biden was also in... he went to Ukraine.
Yeah, he's been on the move.
Well, that's in his portfolio. It's always been Ukraine has always been his deal. And then they release a fact sheet. I'm on all of the White House news feeds. It's some of it's just fascinating sometimes. We got to talk. Remind me to talk about the Afghanistan extension. Like, I'm just going to be there another year. Don't need to talk about it. U.S. assistance to Ukraine. Now, what we hear from our government and the media's message is, Russia has taken over. They're encroaching. They're crossing. They're redrawing borders. They're just total revisionist Russia, crazy guys taking over the whole country. Does that sound right?
Yeah, no, they're horrible people.
Now, listen to what we're doing. The United States remains firmly committed to supporting Ukraine as it works to establish security, restore economic stability, strengthen the rule of law, advance the fight against corruption, and carry out democratic and constitutional reforms. Bingo, boom, shakalaka. The United States stands with the Ukrainian people in their choice of democracy, reform, and European integration. Your choice. Now, in pursuit of these objectives, Vice President Biden announced today in Kyiv that pending approval from Congress, the White House will commit $20 million to support comprehensive reform in the Ukrainian law enforcement and justice sectors, including prosecutorial and anti-corruption reforms. The vice president also announced the U.S. will be directing an additional $3 million to the UN World Food Program emergency operation in Ukraine for food rations and assistance to people displaced by the conflict in eastern Ukraine. And then I'll just skip down a little bit. Here are, this is a whole fact sheet, examples of U.S. assistance to Ukraine in response to the crisis. Include the following. Economic stabilization, reform, and growth. Ukraine issued a $1 billion sovereign bond fully guaranteed by the United States.
What?
Yeah. Well, we know that.
Can't they guarantee their own bonds?
The U.S. loan guarantee was part of a coordinated international effort to ensure Ukraine has the resources it needs, providing $27 billion to Ukraine as it implements its IMF program. Hello, you people, citizens of Ukraine, you are the IMF program, just so you know. The U.S. government deployed, immediately following Ukraine's change in government, the putsch in March, the U.S. government deployed advisors to help stabilize the financial sector and implement key reforms in partnership with the Ukrainian Finance Ministry and National Bank. Who's taking over the country, you might ask yourself? EU, where they did a big deal with the EU? The EU? Remember, it was Russia or the EU? But who sends advisors? Well, that would be us.
We got Georgia as one of our buddies with, the George Bush Airport.
Oh, yeah.
And we might as well have these guys because we're creating the buffer state that the Russians want to create. But it's us. We're creating buffer states. But what is the point of it? Why?
Why not?
I think is it possible that we think the EU is so incompetent and boneheaded that unless we set we stabilize and set the foundation correctly, they'll just screw it up.
John, I think I have to remind you. Does that ring any bells?
I can see why Putin's irked.
Yeah.
And what he's got to be thinking to himself is, doesn't anybody else see this? It's so obvious what's going on.
No. Well, yeah, it's exactly what we talked about earlier. Say this, do that. And people, Russia, crazy, horrible, revisionist, nutball,
hate dogs,
hate gays, hate dogs, taking over the Ukraine, invading sovereign. No, we're running the government, the finance sector here, security sector. We're government committed equipment and training to Ukraine security forces. This assistance includes provision of body armor, helmets, vehicles, night and thermal vision devices, heavy engineering equipment, advanced radios, patrol boats, rations, patrol boats. Wow. Tents, counter mortar radars, uniforms, first aid equipment, supplies, and other related items falling under the other category. The United States has also begun a process led by the EU, European Command, and Department of Defense, civilian and military experts, sounds like consultants, to work with Ukraine to improve its capacity to provide for its own defense. We got to teach you. We teach you democracy. We teach you how to kill people when we tell you to. This includes medical and security assistance, and then there's national unity, democracy and human rights, and media. Oh, John, would you like to hear what we're doing, how we're helping the people of Ukraine?
Oh, yes.
You gotta say, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that guy. The United States has contributed funding and personnel to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. That's the OSCE you hear so much about. The Special Monitoring Mission that is monitoring and providing daily reporting, particularly in the conflict regions in the East. That's the United States. Not Europe, not Ukraine, United States. During Ukraine's presidential parliamentary elections this year, U.S. assistance supported the work of international and domestic election observers. Here's how it goes. Hey, listen, do you see what I'm seeing? Oh, you don't see it that way? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong. I'm monitoring you. This is really bad. Election observers, as well as efforts to strengthen election administration. Yeah, we're good at that. How'd that George Bush thing work with Al Gore? Yeah, we're very good at votes. Voter education, election security, and independent media. I guess I must have missed my invitation. This is so here. U.S. assistance is also supporting Ukrainian constitutional reform efforts. And now they just closed their coalition. So they have 5 parties now together will be the coalition of this 300-person parliament. And now that they have a coalition, they can now change the constitution. And that is what we are assisting. Supporting Ukrainian constitutional reform efforts that will drive decentralization and help Ukraine meet European constitutional standards. Oh, okay. The U.S. government is supporting civil society organizations, NGOs, to engage in public outreach, participate in the government reform process, and monitor and defend human rights. And here we go. The Broadcasting Board of Governors. We know who they are, don't we, John?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. They're the ones who wanted the Smith-Mundt Act overturned.
Oh, those guys, yes. So you can propagandize the public at large.
Yes. The
Ukrainians are just as susceptible to that as anyone.
The Broadcasting Board of Governors, BBG, launched Russian-language television news programs airing in Ukraine that are produced by Radio Free Europe / Radio Liberty, RFE/FL, and the Voice of America, as well as multilingual...
What?
And the Voice of America.
No, so instead of letting the Ukrainians do their own damn news, we're like taking over their stations and we're broadcasting as though it's local.
And we have multi-language websites devoted to events in Crimea. You will listen to our news. And it's like we got RT like saying, "Hey, I'm just being a bad boy by saying these things." We're running their shit.
Good.
And also, of course, we are providing some energy security to the helpless people of Ukraine. U.S. government is working with other international donors. Who could that be? International donors. What is this? The U.S. government is working with other international donors to help Ukraine develop strategies to ensure that energy subsidy programs are targeting the most vulnerable Ukrainians and to increase and use energy efficiency, including among households in the industrial sector. A new program will accelerate new investments in energy efficiency. Hello, this is the sales office calling. We got shit for sale here, people. Please enter the international donor line.
Who are these international donors?
Well, they can join in the new program to accelerate investments in energy efficiency.
There'll be a trade show next.
Definitely, it's going to be great.
Selling to Ukraine. That'll be the name of it.
No, strengthening Ukraine. Something like that.
Well, if they were honest, it'd be called selling to Ukraine.
And then just human assistance. Oh, screw it. It's sickening. I can't even do anymore. Here, trade diversification and promotion. Oh. The U.S. government is providing training and technical assistance to build Ukraine's expertise on World Trade Organization obligations and rights and how to meet WTO food safety standards. My God. You see what's happening?
That's interesting. So they want him in the WTO.
They at least want to understand. Yeah, that's for sure.
That's what they want. Yeah.
Interesting.
The Ukrainians are corrupt. It's a corrupt society.
Well, you know what can happen then?
Somebody for a ride here.
Well,
I think the Ukraine. Okay, you guys want to do all this? Sure.
I just want to hear what you said. The Ukrainians are a corrupt society. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Really? Everybody in Ukraine, or it's just?
Yeah.
Is that like saying Americans all are crazy militaristic a-holes?
Yeah.
When you did that, you have to go, yeah.
That's a different guy.
Anyway, so that's what I have there.
Huh. Well, at least we're doing our job. Doolin opens up the door with some donuts. Our CIA guys roaming around the streets during that period. I can't believe that part. Oh no, I was just there on vacation. Yeah. What did he say? Yeah. Some bull crap.
Yeah, and
roaming around. Yeah. Can you imagine if the head of the FSB was like at the Occupy right?
I'm on vacation, man. I'm on vacation.
I'm on vacation. I love New York.
Yeah.
This is not. It's gotten to the point where it's almost so laughable that it's like, it's almost as though they're inviting being found out. I think nobody cares. It's like, except us. We kind of like it. Because
okay, so this is an overall observation that we have gotten to this point where, so for example, there's, most people have heard about this Jonathan Gruber guy who was the speechwriter the economist from MIT who put together a lot of the Affordable Care Act, and he's on all this video saying, if you want to get something by the stupid voter, the stupid American public, you got to twist your words and you got to sneak it in.
You got to trick them,
right? It's not even that hard. You just don't say. You just say, don't say anything. Don't even put it in there, because they're dumb. They don't care. They're not going to find out. And this, of course, is generally true. But it's also a thought I had with Uber. So here we are. We're the press, the completely compromised technology news press, which is owned by. All these guys are owned by the same group of investors. As it turns out, BuzzFeed, who broke the story of this Uber executive who said, "Hey, we're going to use our God view and we're going to check on Sarah Lacey's crap." BuzzFeed broke that story. Same investor in Uber. And Lyft, I'm sorry. Not Uber, Lyft.
Yeah,
a competitor.
Lyft's a competitor.
Competitor, of course.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Right. So this is how these things work. What's the guy's name again?
Yeah, both Lyft and Uber have been known for dirty tricks in the past.
Yeah, which is okay. Yeah. What's this guy's name? Hold on, let's get you the guy's name. And of course, the thing is that BuzzFeed didn't disclose this while writing this piece about Uber. They should have said, hey, one of our financiers is invested in Lyft. Don't you think that would be?
They should have. Yes, they should have. I think so.
Ken Lear.
Well,
Ken Lear.
So who's going to know? Yeah, I think this disclosure thing, you might as well just forget it at this point.
I just want to make a different point, though.
Okay.
Okay. So back to just how stupid we really are, just in general as citizens. So here we're celebrating this Uber company. So they're valuing it at $30 billion. All this crazy stuff, and it kind of hit me yesterday. As I was taking Uber back and forth, this Wagamama. I took an Uber to the Wagamama. Man, I'm such a hipster.
Oh, they have Ubers in Dutch?
Yeah, and it works on your same account, everything. It's really quite stunning and so much easier. I mean, I hope Taxi Eric never hears me say this, but screw it. So much easier. Now, of course, these guys wind up paying 25% of their, that's the VIG for being a part of Uber. But really, I was thinking about cab companies and what this has disrupted, if you will. And the experience is really good, but really, we're talking about taxi cabs, okay? Now, maybe they look better and these guys have a suit on, but really, ever since I've been on this planet, going back to the original TV series Taxi, remember that with Brian De Palma and Tony Danza?
Not Brian De Palma.
Yeah, Louis De Palma.
Brian De Palma.
Who's the tiny guy?
To my little friend.
Who's the little guy? Who's the little actor?
Yeah.
What's his name? Yeah, that guy. Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito. There you go. Louis De Palma's
character.
Danny DeVito. What's the guy from MASH? No, was he in there? Wasn't the guy from MASH in there for a while?
Let's go to the point. We don't care unless the actors have some bearing on this.
Okay. It's all crap. It's always been crappy, crummy. It's a scummy business. And these people, I talk to the Uber drivers, they're driving around drunk people who throw up all the time. It's a crappy, crummy, scummy. It's a horrible business to be in. It's not for the elitists. That's all that Uber is for. And it's expensive. But really, we're celebrating the fact that people who are kind of middle class have now moved down into taking their car like a slave.
That's true.
Enslaved to the man, and we're celebrating that you now have people puking in your car for money. It's fucking sad, people. All right. I got to the point. It took me a little while, but that's...
No, it was good. I liked that one. It wasn't one I bitched about.
It really hit me.
You wasted all my time with that. That's a very good point. You've actually you've summarized it beautifully. You've taken the middle class that was a successful group of people.
Had a nice car.
With their nice cars, and then usually two of them in a two-car garage, living in the suburbs, doing just fine, sending their kids to good schools, and then and they're not saving a lot, but they're doing very well. Now they're reduced to having to be a second-rate cab driver, a gypsy cab.
Toilet.
That's their job now. Hey,
and they're happy about it. And they feel good.
That's what's so pathetic. They're happy about it. They should be revolting.
Yeah. It really is, because it's been dressed up in this beauty of misogynistic bro guys. No, it's even better now. We're a big worldwide club of people who have been downgraded.
Yeah, the whole country.
You've got a massive downgrade. I'm telling you, you get in the car with the Uber guy, you say, or gal, you say, oh, how's it going? Yeah, good. How long have you been driving? Do you like it? Mm-hmm. So, so do you do a lot of the at night? Yeah, that's a lot. It's always busy. So how do you like people throwing up in your car? Like, yeah, well, this is kind of getting on my nerves. I'd have to watch, and you can't, if someone's in you think they're going to puke, you have to say, you can't tell them to get out. It's troubling. And these people aren't hardened cabbies. Wait until a couple of them get their throat slit.
Yeah, that's true. This reminds me, now that you mention it, and now that you mention it, this is funny because I've been looking for an analogy for this. Now, and I believe maybe this is it. Uber and Lyft, and there's another one.
Hold on one second. I just need everybody to realize what is happening here.
I
have a sound effect. Hold on a second before you get into it. This is what happens when two guys come together for an unrehearsed performance. John, let's hear your Uber analogy.
Well, I'm always into the 40-year cycle because I believe 40 and 80-year cycles determine the way things go. And I've never found an analogous situation for
a parallel.
Well, actually, a parallel and analogous, something that was very similar, but not the same. And so it's not a thing running it's not a thing that's running in time together. It's a thing that happens and then it happens again 40 years later. Hitchhiking was huge.
Right. In the 70s.
The late 60s through the mid 70s, everybody was hitchhiking. I knew 2 guys who hitchhiked all the way across the country.
That was Uber without the app.
This is Uber. This was the ride sharing in the olden days. Yeah. There was no app. You just stick your thumb out, and people were. And I used to pick up people all the time. But at the time I was driving around a motorcycle, and so you'd see some. I got stories, but you'd see these girls.
Give me one story of a hot girl.
A lot of girls hitchhiking, and you'd always give them a ride. Yeah, okay, I got my one story. So I took my bike up to Tahoe to gamble at Caesars because I wanted to go see a BB King concert.
Hold on, just let me hold on a second because remember this is theater of the mind. You took your motorcycle.
Okay, it's cold and it's snowing up there.
But I mean, just say that sequence again.
I took my motorcycle up to Tahoe. To see BB King. Be up there to see BB King, and I figured I'd gamble.
And how old were you?
I don't remember.
24?
Something like that.
Did you have long flowing hair and a
No, I have very thin hair. I still have pretty much the hair.
What was the motorcycle? What kind of motorcycle?
I was a Kawasaki Triple. Anyway,
rice burner. Okay.
Oh, it was fast.
Yeah,
anyway,
rice burner.
Hair would, if it got too long, I'd get these split ends and make my face itch. So I never could grow really long hair because it drive me nuts. So I go up there and I go to the tables before the concert and I win, I don't know, $200-300. And I decide that instead of spending the night, I'm going to come back after the BB King concert. I go watch, and I had a great seat. It was right in front. It was like a lounge act, BB King.
And you were doing blow or just drinking scotch?
No, I wasn't doing anything. No.
Scotch?
No.
Even weed?
I'm on a motorcycle.
Some nudes?
Bad enough with the big gouges in Highway 80 that you could get killed just driving back. So I say, the concert's over around midnight. I say, hell with it. I'm driving home. I'll save the hotel costs and I'll just drive home. Mm-hmm. So it's not quite snowing, but it's below zero. So it's freezing. And I got all the gear on. I think I'm going to
and you're aware that it's snowing.
But I'm going to get there. Once I get down the hill, it's not going to be snowing for long.
Wow.
And so I start to get, what do you call it when you get too cold? It's called...
hypothermia.
Hypothermia. I start getting hypothermia. And so I'm driving, blah, 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 blah. And so I go into a gas station and make the mistake of warming up, which is, because if you're going to be cold, you want to kind of keep you don't want to go warm, cold. So I started shivering like a maniac. Yeah. After I left the gas station, after I warmed up, and so I started driving. On the entrance, there is a beautiful woman hitchhiking. I mean, dynamite. She was dressed up in a lot of gear. You could just see her face. She's fantastic. And so she's hitchhiking, and I pull over to ask her if she wants to go, but
hold on. Hey, baby. Hey.
I'm so cold and freezing, I say to her, and she takes a look at me like I'm a crazy guy because I can't talk.
She pulls out her gun.
She slowly walks backwards like Homer Simpson. Says no thanks. And I realized and so I said fuck it, and I just drove off.
No, you said
yeah, that's right. I said yeah, I couldn't talk.
How to Pick Up Chicks by John C. Dvorak, where the C stands for chick magnet.
So that was
You sure it wasn't the lewds?
The lewd. No, I never took lewds.
I've never had one of those in my life.
But talking about the pickup artist, there's this interesting thing. This is a pickup artist bullcrap. This is the story going around about this guy who does the pickup artist seminars, and this bogus story shows up on France 24 about what's going on with this guy.
Hold on, I can't find it. I don't see pickup.
That's pickup artist bullcrap.
Sorry. Okay, I got it. Oh man! By the way, John, great story. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, everyone loves those stories. Wait, hold on. Before we go, let's get out of the story for a second. Okay, everyone shake it off. Yeah, back to reality.
An online petition requesting the Brazilian authorities deny entry to dating coach Julian Blanc has garnered over 400,000 signatures from Brazilian web users in just a few days. The self-proclaimed pickup artist is currently at the centre of lively debate after a sexist video showing him in full seductive mode was posted online early November. Web users the world over are outraged by his behaviour and tactics. From Iceland to Singapore, from the Netherlands to the United Kingdom, the online petitions keep coming.
Okay.
I have publicity stunt.
Yeah, this is fantastic. You know, we can be dating consultants. You're a great one. John C. Dvorak, consultant Dvorak. And what a great story. This is exactly how to learn. Listening to you.
This guy is obviously a promoter of the highest order.
Yeah.
He's managed to get these petitions started against himself to get news about him. I never heard of Julian LeBlanc or whatever his name is.
He's a controversial dating consultant.
Controversial dating consultant.
I nailed it. You just got to piss off women or gays. That seems to be the way to do it.
That's what Chick-fil-A did. They pissed off all the gays, and now their business is way up.
Yeah.
Because all the gays were showing, they were tweeting pictures of two guys and two girls kissing in front of the Chick-fil-A.
And people were like, hey, I'm going to go there.
It's unbelievable.
Hey, wait a minute. Where's my two guys kissing? Damn it. Got ripped off again by Chick-fil-A. Oh, yeah. No, it's very good. What was the controversy? You just had some sexist things. He was like,
I don't even know.
Yeah,
I mean, apparently he's got a seminar where he says sexist things about women and how you can manipulate them or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But all I know is that these phony petitions began.
Great promotion.
And by the way, that was just the beginning. This was a package that went on for another 2 minutes.
Oh wow!
With pictures of him in front of a crowd.
And it was on France 24.
Yeah,
well, that's a good start because they're seen as a journal. They have integrity.
Yeah, well, they got suckered on this story.
I actually spent some time reading through and understanding this executive action by the president on immigration, and I am vested in this because you would think with what I have been through with what Mickey has been through with me that I would be one of those people saying, "Hey, man, you don't get to jump to the front of the line. You don't get to cut in line, man. You got to do some crap, man." And we went through some crap, including deportation. And thousands of dollars, most of it directed, I think the lawyer fee really was, it was probably $2,000 in lawyer fee. And that's just standard. I mean, it's set prices, $500 for this part of the journey, $500 for that part.
Yeah, it's like going to an auto mechanic. They look it up in the book and that's what you.
And this guy does everything for Endemol and John DeMol personally. A guy out in Santa Monica with one office. And so that's how Mickey knows him. And he's always done her O1 stuff. And I totally screwed up on letting her leave on the ESTA visa. And she'd overstayed that by a couple of days. It was totally my fault because I thought, it's not completely insane here. Because I've been through some immigration stuff before. And so, you can figure it out. You can work it out. But no, this all changed when it moved from the State Department to this newfangled outfit called Department of Homeland Security. And this is what I found interesting. Then I looked at some coverage before I left on Friday, tried to read as much as I could. I just wanted to see what the coverage was, what people are saying. And I'm hearing all these things of, it's anti-constitutional and I'm hearing people mess it up by saying executive order, where there's no such thing. There's no executive order has been signed. A presidential memorandum, yes, but it has very different weight in what it does. But that's not even really where all of this is coming from. And there's one term, which I don't think, I have not heard, except Newt Gingrich once, with someone who sent me a clip, I, of course, didn't see this live, had not used the term prosecutorial discretion. Because all of this, the posturing by Republicans and whoever else is opposed to it, it doesn't matter. Everyone who's discussing this that you see and doesn't talk about prosecutorial discretion is just there to be on TV. And just to be on TV or whatever, it has nothing to do with what has actually been done or what needs to be done. Do you have an opinion on this, John, one way or the other?
I'm listening to you. I feel the same way. The whole thing is vague. I watched the whole speech, and it was just horrible. And I don't know what he did. I can't tell.
Okay.
And everyone's saying, oh, he's done this, he's done that. And then what's the evidence of that?
Right.
And everybody on either side goes, oh, he didn't. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. Yeah. This is like, the temperature. It's like the global warming thing. The temperature's going down. It's going up. It's going down. It's going up. It's staying the same. Well, give me some definitive answer to this question. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it staying the same? I don't know. I can't tell. I have a couple of clips I can play here that might show you how confusing it is.
I think that's a good place to start, yes.
I watched Democracy Now! And Juan Gonzalez.
Wait a minute. You're telling me Democracy Now! Could not even make it understandable?
No. In fact, Juan Gonzalez made it more confusing by bringing in that idiot Guterres, that Chicago congressman who's just a racist. And they try to explain it. He says that there's no... It's just play it. Play this. Juan Gonzalez explain, and Gonzalez, by the way, he would have a vested interest. He should recuse himself, but no.
And why is that? And why is that? Why is that? Because he's
always been
he's Mexican.
He's Latino. And by the way, but let's play this. He calls it a temporary resolution. It's not even that.
A resolution.
This temporary resolution is just that, a temporary resolution. In fact, it will be 6 months before any of the parents of undocumented immigrants can actually apply for legal status. And so that the Republicans in Congress, a new Republican majority, has basically a 6-month window, as Congressman Luis Gutierrez said, to finally do something rather than just complain and whine about what the president has done now.
And this. Okay. Wait. Let me interject one thing.
Go.
This whole our immigration system is broken. No one ever says, well, what exactly is broken? No one is ever saying. Please explain what is the broken part of it. Which I, by the way, can tell you what the broken part of it is, but I'm leaving that until the end when we conclude this.
Okay.
So,
well, they just use this as a methodology at the Democracy Now! Show, especially Gonzalez, to bash the Republicans. And the classic example is this next clip. This is Juan Gonzalez and the litany of hate. They bring out an illegal alien who is apparently a political expert, and she goes on and on and on with a whole bunch of talking points. And it's just like, oh, why don't we just bring the Democratic National? Let's bring out, what's her name? Schultz.
Wasserman. Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Let's bring her out and let her say this. And this, to me, was just an eye roller.
And when you hear that already some of the Republicans in Congress are threatening to go to court, and some Republican governors are saying they will fight in their local states against providing work permits or providing driver's licenses under the president's executive order, what's your response?
Well, it's not surprising. I think that Republicans have been really good at showing that they're anti-immigrant, anti-women, anti-poor, anti-children.
Hey, we got to shoot your children, you stupid Latina women. Did you say religious? No, we are religious.
That out, but the Republicans are proven to be anti-immigrant, anti-woman, anti-children.
Anti-gay. She forgot anti-gay.
Well, she probably dropped that when she couldn't remember that many things.
Okay. And he says in here, he's talking about executive orders. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm saying okay. I shouldn't be saying that.
Right. I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
Yes, okay. But okay, I really have to stop. All right, here we go. These were executive actions, and that's not where the meat and potatoes is. He creates these presidential memoranda, each memorandum. Here's one. There's only two. This is what he actually signed. It's a memorandum. It's not law. It's not executive order. It's a memorandum. He's like, I got a memorandum here. It's like, I need those TPS reports. That's exactly, in fact, that is a very good analogy. Yeah, I really like the TPS reports. And what these do is they form committees. That one is, here's immigration lawyers clarify what, I'm sorry, that's not the one. Creating welcoming communities and fully integrating immigrants and refugees. And we're going to put together a focus group, a steering group, and everyone, everybody's. It's like Secretary of State, Attorney General, Secretary of Agriculture, of Commerce, of Labor, Health and Human Services, Housing and Urban Development, Transportation, Secretary of Education, Chief Executive Officer of the Corporation for National Community Service, and everyone's going, "Fuck more meetings, fuck, hate meetings." And then a White House task force. The New Americans Task Force. So that's the first presidential memorandum. It doesn't say anything about amnesty. It doesn't say anything. It has no operational law wording at all, other than setting up a task force. Second presidential memorandum, modernizing and streamlining the U.S. immigrant visa system for the 21st century. This has nothing to do with what is being discussed, this prosecutorial discretion. This is about, let's put together a task force, a driving steering wheel committee, where we've come up with a new way of doing things. Oh, man. Okay, this could be kind of a fun meeting, because this task force has to, do important things like work in consultation with private and non-federal public actors, including business people, labor leaders, universities, and other stakeholders. People, money! This is a call. This is a call for money. Recommendations from these people to streamline and improve the legal immigration system, including immigrant and non-immigrant visa processing, with a focus on ching-ching IT project, with a focus on reforms that reduce government costs, improve services for applicants. Services for applicants. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Reduce burdens on employers, combat waste, fraud, and abuse in the system. We're here from the government. We're here to help. Developing recommendations that set forth established metrics. Yeah, all right. Here, where we have, I love this, all this private, in consultation with private, we already had that one. In consultation with technology experts inside and outside the government. Oracle's going, everyone, Microsoft, send the sales guys out. So that has nothing to do with this. Where it does come down to is Department of Homeland Security, and this is the immigration action. It's you can actually get to it by dhs.gov/immigration-action. And here are the true executive actions that are going to take place. And it is called prosecutorial discretion, which gives the agents of agencies complete license to say, okay, there's two guys doing something wrong. It's against the rules. I'm going to let that guy go. This is the whole deport criminals, not families or whatever, not children. What a great slogan. How can I be against that?
No, that's the key. The Democrats.
How can I be against that?
Love to dream these little. Once you get the slogan, then you can go for it. You can go. Oh, we got the slogan. Let's do something.
Yeah. Well, what is that? It's deport. What is it?
Deport criminals, not families.
No. It was something else. Deport. Give me felons, not families. Deport felons, not families. God, I had to think about it. Shitty. You failed.
No, it's good. It's good.
Well, they're not promoting it enough. They're not doing it right. So
we need a jingle. Poor felons, not families.
Something upbeat, yes, but not that one, because that's our see something, say something.
Yeah, that's failed.
Yeah, well, yes. Okay. So so truly, this means that you will go out and focus on felons and ignore families. That's how simple it really is, and this is completely at the discretion of not just Department of Homeland Security, which includes all the agencies, the United States Immigration Security, Police, ICE, INS, Border Patrol, is it CPB?
I don't know. You don't need to name them all.
So all of them. That's a lot, but this is all now.
It's a laundry list,
and so this is also
go by whatever they feel like anyway.
And this is all. Yes, it's exactly what it is. Yeah, I'll let her go because she's got nice boobs. That's exactly what this is.
There you go. You nailed it.
And
you didn't nail it, but you nailed it.
But this is in place for lots of people. Haitians, people who have been displaced from Haiti, they keep getting extensions. I feel bad for these. Man, it's the Haitians. Haiti, it sucked. Earthquake. Clintons took over. we got all that money, didn't get the money, where'd the money go? They got screwed out of the money, let him stay. Extra time. This is very normal. This happens all the time. So anyone who's not mentioning this is very normal, happens all the time under all these circumstances, and it is indeed just like saying, let the one with the big nice booth, let her go or go first. That's all that it is. And no one's talking about what really needs to be done, which is remove the morally corrupt, unnecessary, secret police of America, which is the Department of Homeland Security. It needs to go. This is where the brown shirts will come from. This is where these crazy people, they're TSA today, they're going to be knocking on your front door tomorrow, and they're insane. Not all of them, of course, but they will all be insane. They're zombies. It's crazy.
This is what happens. The couple of good books to read.
Here we go.
The two books to read, which discusses exactly this potential. Is one of them is a true book. The other one is fiction. The true book is Life and Death in Shanghai, a book that was banned by the Chinese. A very good read. Fantastic.
Who wrote this book? Do you know?
A Chinese woman. I have to go look it up now. That was a Chinese. It could be written by anybody. It doesn't be a Chinese woman. It's not a laugh.
Chinese chick.
Funny about that. What do you think? That's funny?
Ooh.
Let's see. Amazon. Life and Death in Shanghai. It's a quick read, and it shows you what happens when these sorts of creeps that you're describing get in power. And I'm going to find it.
Okay.
It's
I don't think we discussed this.
In Hong Kong. We've talked about this book before.
How do you spell Shanghai?
Shanghai, I believe.
Can you do it in the code?
Life and Death in Shanghai in Books. Just the right one. This one here by Nian Cheng. Cheng Nian. Either way.
Cheng or Ching?
Cheng.
Oh, Cheng.
NIENCHENG is available. $5 or $6. The Kindle's $8.
I'm not gonna. I want the real book. I'm also done with Kindle in my whole Babbitt world.
Okay, fine. Well, then get a real book. This paperback is. I don't even know if it ever came in hardcover. It's a 12-28. Fantastic book. Now the other one, of course, is Sinclair Lewis's "It Can't Happen Here."
It can't happen here. We have discussed this many times.
And this book is the fictional version of this book, Life and Death in Shanghai.
That's why they're connected. Okay.
When you read the two books, either one of or both.
I have a part of it.
I see. And it's exactly what you're talking about. This is exactly what will happen. This is exactly what happened in Germany with the brown shirts. And this will, or if you read we've been reading those books about what life was like during the Nazi era. And, if you weren't going Heil Hitler constantly, people would beat you up in the streets. And that's what we're running into. And I think you're right about the DHS. It should be disbanded. There's no reason for it.
And then they're making decisions about your life, your freedom to move, your travel. And I told Uncle Don about the time that Mickey told the story when we were driving. I think it was we were driving from California to Texas when we first moved here, and we ran into that New Mexico border control 100 miles from the border. Where you cannot get around, you have to go through it, and then the dog got all happy, and then they completely ripped everything apart, and they made Mickey pee in a jail cell.
I don't know why I don't remember that.
You don't remember? This was fantastic, and I was still smoking at the time, and so they thought I had weed and everything. It was.
Right, you probably stunk.
No, it was, and these guys were 7 feet tall, and Mickey was telling the story about these Nazis. I'll call them that. It's not really what nationalistic people, the Nationalist Party are, but you get the idea. Brown shirts. Yeah. It's crazy. And whereas if I were alone, I would have said, "Am I detained? Am I free to go?" But I had she's not a citizen. I don't need to get her deported. It would make me very unhappy. Great material for the show, actually. And Uncle Don just went, "Oh, is this the sound he made? Oh, it's this since 9/11." Like. He has no clue. It's as intelligent and worldly as he is. He's just now waking up. He's still at the 9/11 thing. Oh, this is what happened after 9/11. Yeah, Don, this is what happened after 9/11. We became a militaristic, crazy a-hole Nazi state. Yeah, and this new division who took away you used to be at state, who took this away from the State Department. We put all of this stuff. Their only mission is to stop terrorists from coming in or flying in or blowing us up. And we know that they're completely incapable of any of that because it's just not happening. yeah, sure, there's some stuff. Oh, there's always something. But it's to the detriment of the security over freedom. Bah! Okay. And they
Anyway,
make, and they make it, and they take money, and they steal money from you. They steal money, $1,000 per submission.
It's a bunch of thugs.
Besides that,
constantly
just
stealing.
to apply for a visa, $1,000 per application paper
I'm talking
per
about
person.
literally stealing, which they do at the airports.
It's the same thing. What is that money for? It's stealing it. And then you do remember, because one of the forms, it's $420. And I said, they made that up just to fuck with me. He sent a check for $420.
$420. That is funny.
You don't remember? I know we talked about
I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
I have a bit of the audio book from Life and Death in Shanghai.
Don't laugh. Why you are laughing?
Sorry. Come on, it was genius. Genius. I'm on the ball. All right. So all of this is complete posturing. Seriously, it can be one agency that does this. The DHS has to go. It was run by the crazy lesbians, the man-hating lesbians, and men are really suppressed.
Court cases.
Let me tell you, I would rather be hounded by a guy with a gun than a lesbian with a gun. Angry. Look at Janet Napolitano. And I'm not making this up. There are lawsuits, guys who are saying I was completely harassed in this agency.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, horrible place.
Okay, let me just see what else did I have there.
Who's the new guy? Is that this guy? What is this guy's name?
Jay Johnson. J-E-H. Johnson.
Yes, J-E-H. J
Johnson. But this is also Holder. Holder also has this prosecutorial discretion, which the judges had to take with the cocaine sentencing. Where crack and cocaine, you get sentenced differently, and this is where they had to harmonize it so it didn't look like black people who can't afford the good shit. Hey man, you're black, you better be smoking that crack. That's how racist the whole thing was. Whereas it's the white people smoking the crack. You heard Whitney Houston, crack is whack.
All right, onward.
So you have this kind of discretion, and that's all that this is. And when they say, Reagan did it, Bush did it, it's all just distraction from nothing. It's nothing. It's completely unimportant. But they're really not doing anything, and we need to have this part fixed. This all has to go. Department of Homeland Security, okay, they can do TSA. Just do TSA only. Get rid of everything else, and get the Border Patrol people nice and happy again. They used to say, welcome to America. Welcome home, Mr. Curry. Well, how come your wife doesn't use the same last name as you? That's what I get.
Yeah, well, I've gotten one time coming through Canada, I got, what were you doing in Canada?
And what was your answer?
That's what he said.
What was your answer?
This is when I had to go see a doctor, but I get a flu shot during some season. This was years before the show, but after 9/11, and so I couldn't get a shot around here because there was the one year where they didn't make enough or something. Everybody got one. So when I said, I get a flu shot, I'm going to go to Canada to get one because I know I could get one. I made a few phone calls, and there was a clinic up there. Yeah, we got plenty of it. So I went up there. I was in Port Angeles, drove across the border, drove up to the clinic, got my shot, came back. And the guy asked me, what are you doing in Canada? And I said, I went to get a flu shot. He says, we've got flu shots in the United States.
Really? Of course.
That's what he said. And then I said, well,
totally get it. Of course you did.
None available that I know of. Has been sold out. You had to come to Canada. That's why I came here. He says, I never heard this. And he, kind of stamped my thing and let me go and didn't continue the conversation. But it was like, what kind of a greeting is that?
It's
doesn't make what I went to Canada for.
It's sad and it's really maddening. This is not okay. All right,
it's not.
I want to move on here. I did want to read a quick little note. Do you recall Sir Quiston of Lincolnshire donating to
vaguely?
I'll read Lauren Smith's note, and then you will remember. ITM. My dad, Sir Quiston of Lincolnshire, donated in my name on yesterday's show.
All right.
This was really emotional for me and a massive thank you to him. Aww. He mentioned that I recently did an essay on moral self-licensing, which Adam said he would like to read. I have attached a link to the email. It was designed as an oral speech in which I got a 1, the highest grade being a 1+.
I told you to get a good grade. You said he'd get a lousy grade.
She.
Oh, it was a she. Oh, sorry.
And my teacher said, I didn't say that. I said it would be horrible because he kind of left, he said, he left it in the open. No, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Sir Quiston, I said, if she wants to tell you what she got for it, then she should email you. And I said, well, that means it could have really stunk. I didn't say that.
No, your supposition was that the concept, which was an accurate concept,
my supposition
understood. You believed that it would be rejected because it was too much money.
I read too much into the way Sir Quiston of Lincolnshire wrote the memo. Because I would have presumed that he would say, although he's actually a very proper guy, he said, I'll leave that to my daughter to tell you what she got for it. But to me, my conspiratorial thinking was, must be shit, must be bad, must be really bad. Because he's not saying it.
That's a very negative attitude.
Yes, and I'm sorry. I apologize for it. It's one of my problems. I'm working on it. I'm in therapy. I'm working on it. My teacher said it was an interesting topic. We handed the typed version attached in for a written assessment, which I have not received back yet. Thanks for the great show. ITM Lauren Smith. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
And she sent a copy of it.
Did you read it?
Of course I did.
Was it any good?
I would have given it a 1+, I tell you. Not just a simple 1.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh, yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda. In the morning.
I want to preface this by mentioning that this is another example of a very poor Sunday, which we've been having very consistently, of the number of people that sent in $50 or more. Most sent in 50, except for a few at the top here. There's only a total number of people totaling 27 people. Now, generally speaking, we have, it's always over 30, 40, sometimes 50, but we have 27 people.
Someone tweeted and said, we're just no good. We've changed. Our attitudes are no good.
No. No, most people are like our Grand Duke. He says, the stuff more recently, especially like the last show, loaded with top-notch deconstructions and good stuff.
That's what I would think too. So it's not that. Yeah. It's just people are broke.
Not that. I don't know what it is. It could be just
they need to be reminded more often.
I don't know what it is. Well, anyway, let's thank the people that did come in at this amount. And we do want to thank all the people that come in with lesser amounts. And when I send these mailings out, I look at two things. One, the total number of people that come in over 50, the total number of people come in under 50, and it creates a spreadsheet that's a certain size. This is a small spreadsheet overall. So we didn't even have that many people came in low. I mean, a lot of people came in.
It was only like 62K.
It was.
Hey, man, you're light. You're only 62K. That's how when I see the email come in.
What's 62K?
The size of the attachment of the spreadsheet.
Oh, the size, yeah.
No, and I'll see if it's like 62. Yeah. I'll be disappointed. If it's
terrible.
Up like
should be 100.
It has some 198K. I'm like, wow, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, those are the good old days.
So before I even see it, I know how it sucks.
Sir Scott and Herndon, I should just pat it with nulls. Holy crap!
Get really happy.
Sir Scott in Herndon, Virginia, $133.33. And he's got his last name. He's worried about outstanding newsletter regarding the XL pipeline.
So can I say something about the XL pipeline quickly?
Yeah.
One of our producers said, can I just tell you, because I guess we were saying, what is the big deal with this XL pipeline? What is the deal? Who cares about it?
Yeah.
Our producer said, okay, it's very simple. This is all about the trains. He said, we have our families, farmers up in Canada, they can't get their goods on a train. They have to go and rent an entire car on a train to do it either by themselves or with a couple of them. So they're not just buying through a middleman, because all these trains are being used for oil. No, the people who put President Obama in office, the Berkshire Hathaway guy, Warren Buffett, he's laughing his ass off at how much money he's making transporting oil on his train lines. That's why it'll never happen. It's not going to happen. And it's not about global warming, any of that bullcrap. It's all about money for him.
I like it.
And
we used to think about trains more than we do currently. Maybe that's what people need to be reminded of.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, no, I like it. That's a very good analysis. And it makes nothing but sense because it's a bonanza. That's what they talk about. All the energy and all. In fact, it's anti-global warming. It's like it's producing more CO2 by running these trains all that way.
Here, let me read.
And they run huge trains. There's some of these trains just run down here.
Let me read them. Should I read the email to you real quick and then we'll move on? In the morning, every time I hear you two bring up the Keystone Pipeline, I cringe. Canadian guy, of course. And usually when people say that, I get mad. I'm like, oh, really? You cringe? Like physically, like you want to puke? I cringe and wonder why no Canadians have clued you into what they see as the most obvious reason that there is strong resistance to building it. It's all about railroads and shipping oil on steel instead of in a tube. Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, Burlington Northern, along with Bill Gates, Canadian National Railroad. Oh, hello. Is Gates an investor in Canadian National Railroad? Check that out.
I don't know.
Check that out. Are cleaning up.
I want to just go to Washington, D.C. and go into the archives and find out what White House and Barbara Boxer and some of their investments, which are kept, in a closed room.
You cannot copy them. You can only.
I don't know. I don't know what the process is.
We do, though. You have to get the microfiche, and you can make a copy in the basement, and you have to pay 25 cents a copy.
That's fine.
I
don't have a problem with any of that, but you still have to go there physically because they could put it online, but they refuse to because they know it's going to happen. People are going to look into this, but
that was by executive order, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, let me continue. They're cleaning up using grain cars by the thousands to ship sweet and crude out of the northern U.S. states and Canadian locations to be refined in Texas, leaving the farmers of these areas with no cars to ship their grain to market. I have friends and family farming in Saskatchewan. Isn't that where all the money is?
No, that's Alberta.
That have ordered producer cars, rail cars that are ordered and delivered to a specific siding that a farmer will fill to capacity on their own rather than sell their grain to a middleman. Over a year ago, they ordered that over a year ago, and they're still waiting. In return, they're sitting on hundreds of thousands of bushels of grain, and they can't sell it. Seems like a no-brainer. The ones that put the scum in office will be quite against a cheap pipeline. So there you go. Rick, I think you're right on. I think that's it.
Okay, well, that's going to be our new, that's our
XL pipeline. And let's see what agricultural people in Congress, in the governments are getting involved. We'll see. Yeah,
Buffett.
Oh, that we need a Buffett yell.
Buffett!
I don't think we have one, do we?
This guy's going to blow out his throat.
There's people who want to pay him good money now for making...
we're star makers. All right.
Curry Dvorak, the star makers, and we don't have a Buffett.
No, we don't. I know we don't.
We have.
Let's go. Let me continue. Nicholas Principe in Raleigh, North Carolina, 12345, sending along some pre-Thanksgiving support. Well, thank you
very much.
Crocutta Computer Services in Pacifica, California, $100. Patrick Hoppel in Delafield, Wisconsin, $100. Richard Foshi, it could be Foshi, $80, and is going to complete his knighthood. So after 2 years of donations, he's crossed the threshold. I'd like to be referred to as Sir Beardmaster.
Sir Beardmaster General. Wow.
I don't know what that refers to.
And he would like some relationship karma, as his is apparently falling apart after 10 years.
Huh.
Oh, let me...
And a little girl, yay, give him that too.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me just get everything. Again, I'm on one small screen here momentarily. Just on a small screen. All right, here we go.
Yay!
And where'd the karma go? Hello.
You've got karma.
There you go. Thank you very much, sir. Knighting ceremony on his way.
Roy Buska in Miamisburg, Ohio, 7770, and he says, your show with the analysis from Uncle Don reminded me of why No Agenda is such a unique and valuable program.
Wow, that's nice.
Sir Thomas Nussbaum, Baron Nussbaum of Virginia Beach.
Yep.
Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Oh, yes.
7117.
And he has a reminder, 12/13/14 is coming up.
Yeah, so we have to start reminding people in the newsletter that we have 12/13/14. The only logical donation with that amount is $1,213.14 for a super night. It's an instant night. Somebody's going to have to do it.
Let's just
J.K. Shields.
I just want to clarify. You will not receive a super night. You just have to be a super night. Let's be a little careful with what you're promising here.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, okay. It's an instant night,
and it's on a Sunday. No, it's on a Saturday.
Yeah, that'll be the day after.
Okay.
J.K. Shields in Wick, Highland, UK. 69.69, and he somehow made it using pounds, I think. Joachim of Formalas in Zurich, Switzerland, 67.20. Thor Lai in Oslo, Norway, 67.10. Ed Zolo in Rostravor, South Australia, 66.60. Paul Webb in Twickenham, Middlesex, UK, 55.55. Arthur Altman in Winnipeg, Manitoba, 54. And now the rest of these are $50 donors, including Brandon Krisham in Vallejo, right up the street from me. Lacey Toms in Ottawa, Canada. Michael Oliver in Fresno. Sandra Geisler in Watkinsville, Georgia. Macy Stolowski in Calgary, Alberta. Brandon Menk in Tempe, Arizona. Jason Daniels in Dallas, Texas. T. Ebel in Bergfield, Berkshire, UK. Andy Clements in Taylor Mills, or Taylor's Mill, or Taylor Mills, I can't, it's one of the two. Kentucky. Eric Veet in Dublin, California. Benjamin Smith in Oakland, California, or New Oaklander. Brian Edelson Edelin in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And finally, Sir Mark Tanner in Whittier, California, and David Trotsky in Romeoville, Illinois. I want to thank all these folks for helping us out on show 672. And reminder, we do have a show 673 coming up. Dvorak.org/NA is the operative place to visit. We need to order more rings. I know. I got to say, yeah. Why don't you just say yes? Just say yes to the boy. Yes. We're ordering rings. It will be paid for. I know. I do like. So John does all the finances for the show, and I like that a lot because he plays it off as, oh yeah, and I forgot, but really, you're just stingy. Yeah, you are. I like that a lot. We're not throwing money away. If that's what you're. No, you're very stingy. Stingy is not the right word. Can't we send them a wooden ring? I've never suggested a cigar store, a cigar ring. You suggested pins. That didn't fly. No one liked that. What a crappy pin. Everybody likes the pins. I want to go to pins. Everybody likes rings, man. Rings. Crazy. All right, so we have no birthdays. No birthdays whatsoever. No birthdays. Yeah, I didn't see one listed anywhere. No birthdays. No birthdays whatsoever. We do, however, just give everybody some general purpose karma, as we always do at the end there. You've got karma. Well deserved. Thank you. Thank you for those of you who are supporting us. We need some more support. I mean, come on. We're giving you some real analysis and information here. Yeah, nobody else even comes close. And I think we just nailed Uber. I mean, come on. This is so obvious. And this is how sick society is. Celebrating the downgrade of the middle class with their hard-earned vehicles into puke mobiles for the drunken elite. For the drunken elite. Great gag, Bill. Let's set it up so the middle class has to loan out their cars, and then people puke in the car. Yeah, great idea. I love it. Dvorak.org/NA. You wouldn't have any of that analysis without us, so support us, please. Nor the railroads, nor anything. Yeah, you're right. We congratulate Sir Borislav Marinov on his barony. He now is the protector of Orange County. We've given him the entire Orange County. I'm pretty sure someone has it, but if the peerage court can step. Like this. Well, this will be resolved within the next two shows. Yeah, for sure. And then we do have one knighting. So, of course, I always bring my little collapsible blade so the Homeland Security brown shirts don't arrest me, and you obviously have yours there. Richard Foshee, come on up to the lectern, my friend. You are now entering that very exclusive gang
of Knights and Dames of the Round Table, we hereby happily pronounce thee Sir Beardmaster General, Knight of the No Agenda Round Table. And for you, we have quite a list of great things, including hookers and Molly, Dos Equis and Dutch Dominatrix, hookers and blow, rent boys and Chardonnay, porn stars and pot, bad science and perky breasts, Cuban cigars and single malt scotch, hot pants and booze, or maybe just some mutton and mead. And see, I even put the Dos Equis and Dutch Dominatrix in there.
Yeah, right at the top.
Good, huh?
Yeah. No, you're a pro. You're a pro, man. Pro.
Thank you, man. Hey, man. Thank you.
Hey, man.
There was another analysis actually by the Word Girl.
Okay.
About our show, and she'd done something for her professor. I don't know if this. I guess she's in college. I don't know. I thought she was the professor. Anyway, she sent it to me. It's called Gender Interaction Analysis, Male/Male, at University of Massachusetts. Do you want to hear this for a second? Because I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm all game for this.
Gender interaction analysis, male-male. For this paper on gender interaction analysis, I have chosen a 15-minute exchange between two male participants / co-hosts of an audio podcast called No Agenda. The purpose of this paper is to explore the different gender roles each speaker assumes as they individually and collectively navigate a conversation. Although the speakers are both male, the roles that each assumes is compelling to witness. One placates while the other pouts. I guess who's the pouting bitch in this?
That'd be you.
Yeah. This analysis begins with when one speaker fails to pick up on the subtle cues put forth by his conversation partner.
This is our performance art fails. Yeah, it happens.
Well, actually, let me finish the intro, and then I want to say something about that.
Okay.
I failed to pick up on the subtle clues put forth by his conversation partner, yet takes offense when the conversation partner must assert himself more forcefully in order to convey his point in a manner where the first speaker will take notice. What follows is an exploration of the male propensity to lecture rather than converse, and how it is perceived by another male, issues of politeness, both negative and positive, as well as a glimpse into the gendered nature of gossip. And this is if this were just a conversation between two people, yes, because she has all kinds of other surveys that she refers to. And this is the time when I played the John Kerry clip recently, and you said it was boring. We got into a little conversation.
Yeah.
And where I also said it on the next show, at the end of that show, I said you were right. But what she overlooks, and this is very typical, I think, although it's actually quite flattering. She talks about our relationship, which is it's kind of disturbing.
I think women always see.
She's citing like Edwards. I'm sorry.
Hit it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I bet you I can deconstruct her deconstruction in such a way that it would explain whatever it is she said.
So, I'm just going to give you one little example, and then I just want to say why this is worthless as analysis. I hate to say it. It is at this point where we witness Adam being overly polite, albeit negatively polite. And then in parentheses, Wardaw 2010, page 277. Apparently, this is a male thing we do. With this seemingly insincere repetition of, it's fine, and with, emphasis mine, and with it, we begin to detect a slight shift in gender role as a result, where I become a bitch. Excessive politeness, such as this, Edwards informs us, is, quote, often associated... is often associated with subordination and deference, which can, in turn, reinforce its feminine connotations. Edwards, 2000, page 146. Yeah. Edwards adds, the speech characteristics traditionally associated with women are not, after all, exclusively theirs. That's on page 136. As evidence of this, we see Adam continue in this vein as John deploys positive politeness in an attempt to defray Adam's increasingly heated exchanges. All right, so here, here, perhaps John instinctively recognizes this as a traditional male-female disagreement and intuitively assumes the role of the placating husband. Ooh, Daddy, don't be mad at me. Wow. How sick is that? I got heebie-jeebies. But what she's overlooking is that this is a performance, and we actually, when we argue, we're more arguing about the pleasure of the people, the producers who are making the show with us and listening in, because we don't, it's like Jon Stewart. He's got 60 writers. You know, he comes. He does a lot of work. He's 40. He's got a lot of people working on the show. Granted, you know, there's a whole bunch of restrictions that come along with television or video in general, which is why we don't do it, because we are theater of the mind and not, as this paper asserts at the beginning. I have it here. It's audio only. Here it is. It's audio only because they don't use video because that would degrade the quality of the sound. No, it's audio only because. She also meant we wouldn't have audio, like visual cues to play off of each other. Which I realize this is a part of I have to say, the greatness of this show. I am controlling all of the clips and everything and starting them, and I'm always trying to have the right clip ready at the right moment, so John doesn't have to. You know, he's usually not. Well, it depends. Like when I'm on a remote, sometimes we have better days where you say something, I know which clip, bang, it's in there. Sometimes
it's sometimes right.
It depends on the clip list.
Performance. This is we do not script this show, and we can't possibly.
It's like the world's longest improv session between two guys that have absolutely no comedic quality.
Just speak for yourself.
No, but it comes out. It comes out when we're in our husband-wife role. Then all of a sudden, and it's true. People always say, "Mommy and Daddy are fighting." I'm always mommy.
There's that. You're always the mom. No, this woman. I don't want to demean her because she's obviously thinks enough.
We love her. No, and it's a great paper.
She's one of our favorites.
Yeah,
but like a lot of women, I believe there's a very strong subtext amongst women analyzing guys. They always want to watch two guys making out. I don't know why. I'm just telling you. There's a lot of women out there.
If I had if this were a clip, I'd give you clip of the day. You're absolutely right. You're right.
Yeah.
It turns them on like nobody else's business.
Yeah, I want to see, and if take it further, they want to see two guys getting it on. There's something that's a thrill about, and there's rumors about various Hollywood starlets married to various kind of gay guys. They're supposed to, they're actually gay, and we all know they are, but they're married to some beauty. A lot of people, the rumor's always that woman likes to watch two guys making out and doing it. And, I could name names, so I just won't.
This is some of the best analysis you've ever done.
It's always built into a lot of this analysis. Yeah. So beware.
I also happen to agree. I do take on the female role sometimes. And it's annoying to me sometimes.
You take more of the dad-son thing more than the female. I mean, maybe you do.
No, pout. I got over that. No.
Well, the pouting is, you do this. You and I can feel it. You go, oh, Dad.
I got over the son-dad thing because as a dad, you're an asshole. So I'm like, no, I just don't want you as my dad. I already got one of those. I don't need another one. I'm fine.
I like anything like your dad. Anyway, So the point is there's you can always analyze stuff, but what we're doing is live performance. Sometimes it works. I think most of the time it's outstanding. And at least within the show, there's at least 2 or 3 items that are just like, you will never hear this ever.
And also, it would not come from one person. Like, we figure these things out on the fly.
No, you can't do it.
We had, it was the analogy for, with Uber, the analogy for hitchhiking. That stuff only happens it's magic.
It's because we're triggering thoughts. We're both experienced. We've been around the world. We've seen a lot of places. We've done a lot of things, and we have a lot of personal experiences that get triggered by the conversation. And some of them are interesting, and some of them aren't. Generally speaking, I think most of them are interesting. But anyway, this is just the way. We'll talk about this stuff on the Christmas show.
Yes, I was thinking about saving this for the Christmas show, but I think I actually want to promote the Christmas show by bringing this out. This is what the Christmas show will be about.
Yeah, it's going to be about the show.
Yeah,
and it was kind of what do you call it? I just made that lip sound.
Yeah. We'll talk about. This is also a very OCD Tourette's thing we're doing about what words we use and. It's kind of sick.
We'll talk about that on the show, too. And we get a lot of comments from people. There are some things that really annoy listeners. And them stammering, probably some of it. But
let me just say something. You have a huge hang-up. I know you're long enough. You've had a huge hang-up about your stammering, which I never really notice. It's like my Tourette's. You don't notice my Tourette's, because I tell you about it.
No.
But no one ever that I know has complained about your stammering.
Complain about
And
which now I hear all the time. I hear pros, not all of them. I mean, Brian Williams never does it, but you see it on the RT show.
I'm just
and
thirsty.
That's a lot.
I drank like 2 cans of Red Bull before the show.
What?
Yeah, I was tired. I've had jet lag, and that's why you thought I was drunk. I was high on Red Bull.
Oh, that makes sense.
But it's kind of not
you
weird.
Sound tired. You did sound tired. You sound fine now.
Yeah, because I'm at a level. I'm leveled off a bit. Whew. I never drink that stuff. And I'm sorry. I had one of those Monster things and a Red Bull. The Monster Energy drink.
What? You can't drink those together.
It's illegal in some states.
So let's get back to some clips and do some catch up. I can do a clip blitz.
How are we? We had a cutout. So where are we on time? Aren't we almost done?
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left.
Because I wanted to do one more little thing, and then you can do your clip blitz. Can we do that? One, like, is that why I pick on somebody?
Yeah, go pick on them. It's fine with me. Maybe we can segue.
A lot of people are always talking about how great Vice is. Vice. And I don't trust these guys. They get,
we both talked about this. I'm on board with you. And the other day there was a dinner conversation where Vice came up, and I said, I think half of their videos are rigged. They're scripted.
Yes, definitely. Like the Ukrainians.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
Like the ISIS video. They got these documentaries, all these places. They're always in the right place at the right time with some and they have credibility. And I know that a lot of people that I've spoken to say we love Vice because they pay a lot of money and they have nice budgets. And I think I heard Rogan maybe talking about this, or someone on Rogan. And I know people who's like, yeah, we did this special for Vice, and they're great, and they're really professional, which means they got fucking paid, and Vice. So Vice started off as a magazine, and then it got exploded by a guy I know very well, Tom Freston. And so this is his comeback for getting fired over not buying MySpace. Can you imagine? He got kicked out of Viacom because he let Murdoch buy MySpace, and of course that turned out to be a great decision. And Tom, before he ran MTV, this is why I know him so well. He had an import-export business in Afghanistan. Hello. So do you get what kind of guy this is?
Yeah, and I'm getting a picture.
He's a great guy. Everyone loves him because he's kind of Indiana Jones in a suit and a little dorky looking. If you Google the picture of Adam Curry and Michael Jackson, he's the one on the other side of Michael Jackson. That's Tom Freston just stands there. Hey, I'm Tom effing Freston. I'm going to stand here next to Michael Jackson. So he financed it, and they're talking that it may be worth $8 billion now. And they're going to try, they're looking for buyers. So this thing isn't really, they've ramped it up. And the founder is a guy named Shane Smith. And this guy just has douchebag written all over him. He's the guy who did the interview with Snowden that was all strange. And then what was the other one? He talked to some, the guys who were tearing up their passport. You remember he was talking to some terrorists there in, where was it? Remember you had a big deal about this. This can't be a British guy. Oh, no, was it British?
No, my deal was that
they
people
tore up
don't
the passport.
Passports. They're worth too much money.
Right. So now this guy has a piece, and it's a long piece, but it's a typical, Vice 17 minutes. And I cut down just a little bit, just like a minute and a half, so you can just get the idea, which I submitted the main premise of this documentary to Atomic Rod Adams, a guy who I know actually knows about radiation and nuclear energy. And something that is the new meme is cesium. Cesium. It's the cesium that's going to kill us. How you doing? Are you dead yet from the cesium there in the Pacific?
I'm still kicking. It's astonishing, but true.
How are your fish all radiated and you're dying from poisoning?
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Are people?
I have a Geiger counter. I've
checked.
Are
people dying on the street of radiation?
No.
In 2011, the Tohoku earthquake created a tsunami so large that when it struck Japan, it killed approximately 16,000 people.
This is very good what he's doing here. He's putting you into the disaster mode of things that have nothing to do with the actual... Well, of course, it was the cause of the Fukushima reactor issue. But the dead people and all this is just, dead people, floating bodies, horrible. And he accentuates these things really smartly.
Destroyed 130,000 buildings and caused an estimated $210 billion worth of damage, making it one of the costliest natural disasters in world history. On top of that, when the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant was hit by the tsunami, it began releasing the largest amount of radioactive materials into the environment since the Chernobyl disaster of 1986.
Now, there's other examples of radiation that isn't all just nuclear power plant related, but okay, we'll use that one. It's just more imagery. Very good. And of course, we see the images at the same time, obviously. The assertion is coming up pretty soon.
Now, almost 3 years later, there are continuing and serious concerns over the levels of both the initial and ongoing radiation contamination, not only in Japan proper, but also what's leaking into the Pacific Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean again.
Now, information regarding this nuclear accident has been very tightly controlled by the Japanese government. So we sent Vikram Gandhi to ground zero of this environmental disaster to see firsthand what's really happening in Fukushima.
Okay. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff where they go back with people to their homes and they take a look at, they're all there. They have like surgical masks on. Like that's going to stop radiation or something. They're walking around in normal clothes with Geiger counters.
What is a surgical mask going to accomplish?
And they're all wearing, but I'm wondering. So they send the Indian guy to ask some questions.
The Japanese government has declared most of these ghost towns unlivable.
And what you hear in the background is a Geiger counter sound. They have Geiger counters everywhere. And, oh, it's not showing the real reading. Oh, this is government-issued Geiger counter. It's showing a lower reading. And the reading is nothing. It's just nothing. Okay.
But what is more disturbing is what they are not telling us.
And this is the meme that is continuously used, government cover-up. Because that makes our conspiracy theorists also nutty. Government cover-up. It's real. You got an iodine.
In the days following the tsunami, a series of explosions ripped through 3 of the Fukushima reactors.
And do you hear the sweetened audio? There is no audio like that of they're showing the explosions. And
there's no audio.
There's echo on it.
Through 3 of the Fukushima reactors. Despite global concern of a potential nuclear catastrophe, the Japanese government downplayed the severity of the situation. As a member of the Japanese House of Representatives at the time of the disaster, Hiroshi Kawachi witnessed firsthand the inadequacy of the government response.
Now, you're gonna hear. I cut all this out, just a little bit of Japanese and then a translation.
Do you think the government is lying about the extent to which the damage has been created by this accident?
Wondering how radiation levels 168 times worse than Hiroshima could ever be perceived as okay, we decided to investigate further.
So here, and of course, you know what the visuals are, because the guy says, and they have the subtitle, he repeats it, the radiation released by Fukushima was 168 times the A-bomb dropped on Hiroshima. And then, of course, you see big, the typical mushroom clouds. And then there's actually, there's a little piece here.
In this school, there's an NGO that's going around testing people for thyroid cancer. Thyroid cancer is one of those diseases that's caused by radiation.
It's caused by a lot of thyroid issues, not just thyroid cancer, but thyroids that become hyperactive or hypoactive. It's not all just caused by radiation. It's not just one of those diseases that is caused by radiation.
Move ahead faster. I'm getting this is old stuff that I've seen already, and I'm
just saying it's a meme. And
is this a new video? They
brand new. This is brand new. Yeah,
it's just old crap.
Yeah, but it's all about energy. It's all about downplaying the nuclear angle. So all I did is I asked Rod. I said, what is this 168 times the radiation? And I just want to give his answer. The atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki didn't release much cesium, and it was not the cause of the exposures received then. What sounds like a scary number doesn't mean much. It's like saying a pickup has 168 times as much cargo capacity as a Harley. I calculated the cesium and iodine release, and he has a URL, though, which is in the show notes. And he says that the the Hiroshima Syndrome website has a good status. Oh crap, man, this email is shit. Steadily with nothing to worry about from a public health perspective, cesium does not accumulate. It has a biological half-life of just 40 days compared to its radioactive half-life of 30 years. It passes through. At very high doses, it's deadly. At Fukushima, concentrations after treatment, the water was drinkable except for the salt and other minerals in it. That's a scientist talking, not the guy from Vice.
Liar.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, no, this thing. Well, what do you think the point of it is? No, I think the Vice guys are. I think they're all.
Well, I know
very sketchy.
Why are they worth $8 billion? What? Because they must be making big money. Where's the money coming from? Well, whoever is interested is to make this kind of stuff, and they're making political stuff, John. They're not making. They're doing reports about Middle East, about ISIS.
Well, we have to keep a closer eye on these guys. We've ignored them.
Yeah. Well, we haven't just spoken out properly about them. I think it's very. I think they are. Yeah, they have to be watched.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I've thought this before, but for some reason, I'm not even interested.
And people are all in. A lot of our producers. Oh, hey man, this is a great documentary on Vice, and I just want to hear it. I'm like, everything in my body goes, man, this is wrong. This is wrong, and just like Uber. Now I know why. I was like, this is wrong. Now I understand why. It just takes a little while to get into it.
Well, we have to get to the bottom of it. Because I have the same thing. People are all in on Vice. They think it's fantastic. And, they found some, like that naked African warlord, I think was one of the early productions that got all kinds of attention. And then they've done it. And then the Korean thing, which I now think is pretty sketchy.
Yeah, well, we know, yeah.
And, of course, that was Shane Smith. And I think they banned him from the country because he made everyone look like clowns.
Well, it's better than getting killed with a cement truck.
Yeah, the real people that actually do work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I don't know how to even.
Well, just keep our eye on it.
I find it so tedious to watch their documentaries because I think they're fake. I just think a lot of them are fake. I think they use actors. Because they go to places that nobody can go. They get to places that no one can go without getting killed.
Yes.
Real journalists don't go in the same place.
Don't even do that. $8 billion valuation from what? Advertising revenue forecast?
Unlikely.
Please, no. We know because we know who's going to be financing this. It's all legal. And
this is part of Smith-Mundt.
Yeah, Smith-Mundt. And this is Goldman. Everyone's going to be in on it all over again. And they've done a very good job. Tom Freston knows how to sell something to young people. He did it with MTV, and now he's hit the jackpot, and he's selling it. You watch who buys it, and you watch how that runs, and they will become the propaganda arm. They might why don't they just have Department of Homeland Security buy them? That's all they're missing.
They probably should. Let me get a couple of things out of the way so we can get out of here.
Yeah, please. Did I bum you out? I'm sorry.
I got a disgusting clip. Well, you didn't have to go that deep into it. We know it's bull crap.
I just wanted to point it out when the big sale comes,
I have a disgusting clip that this is a video, obviously, so you can't see what's going on. You will guess what's going on by the end of the clip. But I think this is especially important clip for you. And this is Tony Bourdain. He's in Paris at a restaurant.
Oh, Tony Bourdain, the CNN.
Tony Bourdain, no reservation. The guy.
He's the CNN food guy.
He's not in CNN at all.
Yeah, he has a CNN show.
Oh, right. It's the one where it's called Stopover or something, right?
It's called Tony Bourdain Food Show.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, he's got 3 shows then. He's got No Reservation, Stopover, where he goes to some place for a short time as though you were on a plane.
Right.
And he tries to jam. And this is this show. And this one, he's in Paris at some fancy restaurant. And if you overhear the conversation without seeing the visuals, if you saw the visuals, you know what I'm talking about. You should be able to figure out what they're up to. And you should be should be appalled.
Tracing some of the newer ideas working their way through French modern cookery. But tonight, it's Le Paul Bear.
Gotta love
love it.
That's how I like it. That's great.
We are such nerds.
I'm going to tweet on that.
Me too. Do people do this in Paris? Is this acceptable behavior now?
Yeah, completely.
It's in New York.
It's stupid, but
in New York, you're not allowed to eat until you take a picture of it.
Yeah. I'm trying not to do it. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's fun.
Well, if you haven't tweeted about it, it didn't happen. This was a good sauce. This was a good steak.
Yeah, you look happy.
It's a sickness.
Isn't it?
It's a sickness.
So Tony Bourdain is some French chef.
He's
in
ill.
a French restaurant in Paris.
We have to stop him.
Shooting pictures of their food.
Yeah, we have to help him. He's nice. He seems like a nice guy.
There's nothing you can do. We're the ones that are out of touch. You and me. We're the ones on the wrong side of history.
That's right.
We're on the wrong side of history.
I give up. Sister.
You bet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You should give up.
Well, I hadn't expected it, but I think you deserve it.
No.
Clip of the day. Yeah, it summed it all up for me. When you have Tony Bourdain, Tony Boltini, and he's like encouraging, and he's making selfies in a restaurant in Paris on a food show, and encouraging that it didn't happen if there's no picture of it. Very, very sad. Sad day. Sad clip of the day. Sad clip.
Very sad clip of that. That is more depressing than your thing.
Sad clip of the day.
I have one. I got a couple more I can carry over to the next show, or I can run them quickly.
Well, it's kind of we have the longer break. Are you in Twit today?
No.
Oh, too bad.
How can I be on Twit today? I'm taking off on an airline.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just smacked my lips again.
Let me
try this.
Want to do tech news?
Let me try this. Well, these are all good stories, but let's at least get this one out of the way. This is the Assange update, so we know where he stands in the scheme of things. Because I just like a report, and then I'm done. I'll use these others.
I was reading about him. I think he had some chicks over or something, and then
he better get more than
Pussy Riot came to visit him.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
A Swedish court has rejected an appeal of the arrest warrant that's kept WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange confined in Ecuador's London embassy for over 2 years. Assange is wanted in Sweden for questioning on allegations of sexual misconduct, though no charges have been filed. He's voiced fears he would ultimately be sent for prosecution in the United States if he were returned to Sweden over his involvement with WikiLeaks. Assange's attorneys have petitioned for the warrant to be withdrawn, arguing it cannot be enforced while Assange is in the embassy and Swedish prosecutors refuse to question him in London. But on Thursday, the Swedish appeals court rejected Assange's challenge to a ruling against him earlier this year. In a statement, the court said it factored in that Assange is a flight risk and that he's, quote, suspected of crimes of a relatively serious nature. But it also suggested prosecutors should consider questioning him in London, saying their refusal to do so, quote, is not in line with their obligation in the interest of everyone concerned to move the preliminary investigation forward, they said.
What? Did you understand any of that?
Good argument. The good argument was, and I think it's a good argument, they said, his lawyer said, look, bring in these guys and question him here, and then either indict him or don't indict him, but do it here. That'll move things along. Otherwise, this will drag on forever. Yeah. And there'll be witnesses that are forgetting, and there's all the evidence is going away. You want to do it sooner, not later. And the fact that they're not doing it sooner is a proof that all this is about is a scam to get him out of England so the United States can grab him.
Grab him, yeah.
Yeah, so I agree. It's anyway, that's my little update for Assange, poor bastard.
And I think that he had Pussy Riot visit him, which is kind of it's those two hot girls.
Yeah, they're good looking ladies.
Yeah, well, and
they got the watch.
Hey, come. Oh, and by the way, ladies, in case you didn't get enough of John's hate on war on women speech, there's nothing dudes like more than two women getting it on. So it's fair or square. It's just we got all the porn of it and you don't. I don't know. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe there is. Probably is.
Yeah, look around.
Probably dudes who like that. I don't know.
It's enough.
It is enough.
I'll get enough hate mail.
It's okay. No, people love you for this stuff. Just real quick, if you don't mind.
The only good phone's a landline, and the phone should be made out of Bakelite.
All right. Quick little tech news, John. Tech news. Tech news.
All right.
I just wanted to let everyone know who is sending me information about the SPDY protocol. You say anything to an engineering audience and they lose their shit.
Oh, yeah.
SPDY, it's like HTTP 2.0, man. No, okay. It's about the implementation by the Open Web Alliance. They want to use your SPDY connection to the big Google proxy. That's what it's about. Ugh. Steve Gibson did a whole thing on Security Now about it, man. Like, about Speedy. Yeah, about that, but not about the Open Web Alliance implementing it. Okay, that's one. OpenBSD project continues to survive thanks to a 20,000 donation from a Romanian Bitcoin billionaire.
A Bitcoin billionaire?
Yeah. I thought this was great news. Yeah, the guy owns, of course, he owns one of the exchanges. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he owns the, what is it? One of these exchanges. I didn't know that OpenBSD was on the ropes. I guess, yeah, they need like $100,000 to keep it running. I don't understand.
I never knew this either. It doesn't make sense to me, actually.
We've talked about this before, but Li-Fi it seems to be going mainstream. It says instead of using Wi-Fi, you use existing LED lighting.
Oh.
It can transfer up to 160 megabits per second.
And you'd use it because
instead of Wi-Fi, just a different. You can have the electricity grid with lights attached to it is much more vast than Wi-Fi can be.
Okay.
And then the only last thing I have is I picked this up from my daughter. WhatsApp. Facebook bought that. Or was it who bought that? Facebook? Yeah, Facebook bought WhatsApp, didn't they? Like a huge, obscene amount of money.
They did. Yeah.
So she says that it's now ruined because they've added something. I don't have it because I don't have a phone. They've added.
Ruined it.
Yeah, they added something called the blue dot.
What's the blue dot?
The blue dot tells you if the other person, the recipient, has read the message. Which is a Facebook thing. I hate it. I never look at Facebook private messages because the person, it's like getting an automatic email receipt. So it said, oh. You read this message at so-and-so time, and the person who sent it to you sees that, and like, oh, well, if I don't reply, he's going to think I'm a dick because he knows I saw it. And I don't want to reply to him at all because it's annoying.
Oh.
So they've done that to WhatsApp now, apparently. And people are going to start defecting. And this is why we see these BitTorrent-like chats popping up. And I told you DHT, distributed hash table, I told you that was going to be the future. Here it comes. So, of course, the BitTorrent guys have released Bleep, but they do it with, in a closed source way. And then I got turned on to this thing called Tox, T-O-X, which is it's like Bitcoin for chat and file transfer and talking.
It's time to close the tech section.
That's all I had, so don't worry about it.
iPhone, schmyphone.
All right then. Are you annoyed? Yes, you have to leave. I forgot. That's right. Sorry.
Yes, I have a flight to catch.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, let's hold hands. Let's do the going away prayer.
Share a secret.
Let's do the going away prayer.
Okay, hit it.
The oldest grandchild has to do it, John.
I don't remember it. I'd have to go look it up.
I lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. Oh, there was this one part in it where it's the word is yea, Y-E-A, and invariably, the new kid on the block, when a grandchild became old enough, would say, yeah, and we go, snickered, idiot, it's yay, didn't you know that? You tripped on it. It's like initiation. Hey, coming to you from the heart of Amsterdam, the Netherlands, in the pipe. Yeah. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from Northern Silicon Valley, where I remain until later, I'm John C. Dvorak.
And we will return on Thursday with one more show from Gitmo Lowlands right here on No Agenda in the morning.
That's how we go. That's how we roll.
It was worth it. It was worth it. And her head is gone.
The best podcast in the universe. Dvorak.org/NA.